Hey,
You okay,
everybody.
Ray? Are you all right? You good?
We're good. We're good. We're live.
We are live. Plata episode. What is this? 82?
82. Viva los Combate.
Yeah. Again, you need to stop. I need to stop letting you name episodes.
Well, there's a reason why I named it that way, though, sir. It's not like
I know. It's because you watch Canelo, and Canelo
I
just
did.
does Canelo. He just does Canelo things, and we're supposed to be surprised by it. He's a monster. We already knew that. But good for him, beating up another dude again, and yeah, I don't really know if they have anybody to beat that guy right now. Maybe they do. I mean, listen, I don't know the depths of boxing as much as I do MMA, so there may be somebody coming up eventually that might be a good fight for him, but I don't know. And even if there is, it's always a whole thing if they get those two guys to fight. However, I think Canelo's pretty much fought everybody they thought had a shot at him, didn't he?
Yeah, he's cleaned out the division, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. You know what we should do, Tim?
I don't know. What should we do?
Introduce ourselves, because this is a show, I guess. I don't know.
This is right here. The names are, you're Ray. I'm Danko. I'm Tim Danko, but Dig Danko right there. That's it. It's Bro Plata, as it says on the thing. And you know what? They clicked the link. They already know what this is.
This is true.
I mean, listen, I don't know how they accidentally stumble upon Bro Plata. I don't think you do. So,
no, you slip in Bro Plata. You don't accidentally step in it. It's like a turd hiding in tall grass. You slide into that shit. That's how you get it.
Man, my hearing's getting worse every episode.
It's probably because I'm just loud.
No, I don't. Hey, is your mic even on today? Because I don't notice it when we're doing the podcast, but when I listen to some of it back, I realize that your mic hasn't been on the last couple episodes, and I keep forgetting to tell you. So tap it for me. Tap it. I don't think so, buddy.
What? Okay.
Yeah, because if you listen back to the episodes, you can hear that it's your camera picking you up because it's all echoey, and I sound immaculate as I usually do. Because my microphone is on, sir. Yes. There you go.
This is better.
Yeah, you're on.
Anyway. Yeah, man.
Anyway.
How was your weekend?
All right. Yeah, not bad. I'm trying to remember what I did. Not a whole lot. Let's see. Watched some baseball. I did watch the fights. I got through most of them. I watched one. I think live I only watched two. I watched the Neals and I watched Morano and Cowboy, but I didn't watch the main event till later. I watched it, but that lady's a beast. Well, they both are. It was a great fight actually with Watterson and Rodriguez. It was good stuff. I got a car yesterday. I told you that.
Yes, congratulations. You did get a car.
I needed one. So yeah, I got myself a new used car. New to me, not anybody else. Got myself a Mazda. So hopefully now I can drive. Hopefully I'll be able to drive it places and do more sets and not feel like it's going to blow up on me. So
that's always a good thing. I got to get I'm dropping my car off after this.
Yeah, that's always shitty. Probably going to go to the Funny Stop maybe Friday, maybe Thursday. I don't know. One of those days. Not Saturday.
I will be going down all the days. Because Terry's coming to town, and it's going to be a fun time hanging out with Terry McNeely.
Are you allowed to hang out with him after what you did last time?
Yes, actually, I made a joke to Gary Garcia and fucking Mike Mark and had every water under the bridge. I have a line for him. He'll enjoy. Because I love Terry. Terry's a great guy, man. Like he's one of my favorite comics on the road today. Him, Dave Landau, Dan Soder, Kevin Downey Jr. Of course. You can't leave out the great Kevin Downey, the king of Detroit or Michigan comedy, in my opinion. I love that man.
Him or Landau. I mean, they're both Detroit guys. Right?
Yes. But no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good weekend. Supposedly his feature is more crazy than I am, which is hard to do, to be honest with you. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. You're going to try to one-up him? You trying to have a crazy contest with this dude? Because, listen, crazy contests between comics usually end in death.
Yeah.
That's usually
it's
they don't end well, or jail. Jail is jail or death, one or the other. Yeah, usually the best way to do it, and I've learned this, is just basically like, hey, just say, hey, I'm okay with being like number 2 here, but I'm just gonna, I'm gonna hang with the ride. I'm gonna hang around for the ride, but I'm not gonna try to beat this guy because I don't want to die, right? But I'll hang in there. I hang in there with most people.
Nah, I'm thinking Saturday, because there is UFC 262 isn't this weekend, is it?
Yes, it is, sir.
Oh
Yes, it
God.
is.
Oh
yeah,
God.
that's why I just said I can't do Saturday because I'm watching that pay-per-view for sure.
That is
Maybe
true.
Friday.
That's gonna be a big one.
Maybe Friday, so we might have to do a matinee on Saturday, or maybe Thursday. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out because I want to go. I want to go down and hang out for the weekend with Terry, and I don't want to miss UFC, but at the same time, it's Terry McNeely. It's Terry McNeely.
You can bring your laptop, do the podcast from your car.
This is true, and also watch the pay-per-view on my phone. That would be another thing I can do.
Yeah, this is the thing about that though. I think if I pay the money, I want to watch it on television live. I thought about that before. I'm like, well, I can just watch the pay-per-view on my phone, but it's a pay-per-view. You want to half-ass watch a pay-per-view on your phone? I'm like, not really. No, I don't.
And especially with a full crowd again, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, because I mean, we got used to having no crowd, and at least we had fights. But once we had Jacksonville and they went back to it, it's like, oh, this is a bummer. One's 262, and it's next week, so that's good. Yeah, so that should be fun. Oh, we forgot to talk about this though. The Nate Diaz Leon Edwards fight got pushed.
It did. Another fight got pushed as well. Today, I believe there was another fight. There was something on ESPN
on 262.
Might have been UFC news. Let's go to the phones here. Yeah.
You know what? We could probably set that up, call-in show if you wanted to. I don't think it's really that difficult. I think we just have to have a number, and we can get a separate number, and we could probably do it through the streaming service. Probably.
I think we could hook up Zoom to it.
I will say this: call-in sports shows always made me feel weird. I don't know what they made me anxious because I'm like, what if he gets a weird caller and he starts yelling at the dude and it's just uncomfortable? Like that's kind of what I'm afraid of if we do that in this show. Because if we want somebody on, we can just have them on.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already doing the stream, so I don't know. So I'm just saying we could do it, but I don't know if it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't know, dude, because it's kind of this is weird.
I think you're looking at what I'm looking at. Does it have to do with Rumble?
It does. Let's talk about this because this came across the wire 4 hours ago. Oh man, he got identity theft charges. What the fuck, Anthony Johnson?
Anthony Johnson,
I got to see him
arrested with an identity theft following Bellator win at Mohegan Sun. Which he came back and won his last fight against the guy's name I can't remember, Jose Augusto, and he was gonna fight Nemkov next, but he's got arrested for identity theft. What? Listen, I don't have time to go down. I should have went down this article before. I didn't check before the show. This is interesting. We're gonna have to get back to this at some point.
Yeah,
because this is yeah. This is interesting. Legal use of a credit card. The purchase round-trip airline ticket from Fort Lauderdale to Newark, New Jersey. Was that for the fights? And he used someone's credit card? I wonder if this is like a weird misunderstanding, or if
it says 2019 in the article.
Okay, so he wasn't working at the time.
No,
because he hasn't fought. He was
desperate.
Maybe. He wouldn't think though, man, because he's probably made a decent amount of. Well, you don't know how he deals with his finances.
I was about to say, I don't know, sir.
I'm looking forward to hearing more because there's not a whole lot here. I'm just kind of skimming it, but yeah, we'll see. That's interesting because that's going to affect his upcoming fight. Now, what if
he bought plane tickets with it?
I know
he bought fucking plane tickets with this. The fuck is your problem,
someone else's
kid?
Credit card, apparently.
Yeah,
that sounds strange. Like it. I don't know if it's like a situation. It was like maybe an ex-girlfriend or something. I have no idea. I don't know. We'll find out more eventually. But that's weird. And what was Yoel Romero's injury when he couldn't fight?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Was it just COVID? No, I don't think it was.
No,
I think he was hurt.
Did you think that body has COVID? His
Well,
body
I think he could get COVID, yeah, but I don't think he'd show it. No,
I was about to
not.
say his body would roundhouse kick every single like form of that virus.
Him and his dragon eyes or whatever the hell, his giant eye tendons or whatever the hell it is. Rogan always talks about
his antibodies. His antibodies just being like, "I love you, COVID. I love you, boy."
Maybe the only person to use COVID to their advantage, maybe give him superpowers or something.
It makes him stronger.
Anyway, he morphs COVID. He's the one. He's the one that changed the strain, but yeah, changes it for his benefit. Yeah, that would be Yoel Romero. But I was thinking maybe they'll let Romero take a spot against Nemkov if he's ready to go. If he's not going to fight, we don't know what's going to happen with this. I mean, listen, there's been guys who he still might be able to fight if he's like out on bails. I don't know. I have no idea. So we'll see. That's interesting though. I wish I kind of knew more. But it's just broke, so I'm assuming no one knows a whole lot yet. But that should be interesting.
Oh yeah.
What were we looking at? Did you find that fight you said got canceled?
No, but it did say he was indignant, which means he was poor or needy at the time. In 2019. So yeah, bad business decisions led to Anthony Johnson.
That sucks, man. Because I mean, that happens a lot to athletes, right? And I mean, if I had made a lot of money when I was like 22, 23, I'd probably make dumb decisions now, but not really that often. But like, I could see that happening to a lot of people. But it sucks when it happens to athletes, especially the guys who get hurt. Then they have everything. All of a sudden, they have nothing, right? I mean, that happened to that football player who just killed people and committed suicide a month ago or whatever. Forget his name. His life kind of went like that, and he didn't play too long in football. I think he played like 5 years, which is a decent amount of money, but it's not. I mean, he'll have to do something else, right? But even if you sat on it, maybe I don't know. Thing is, it happens a lot, right? There's that documentary broke on ESPN, 30 for 30. Talks about that, and they try to get guys help. They try to get them like financial counselors and stuff just to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. I think more guys now are privy to it, or at least they know it's very possible that can happen, and they know that they may not be the ones that should be making all their financial decisions when they sign that big check for the first time. So they go and they get help, or they have someone who may help them manage their finances now because there's so many people because that's happened to them. But obviously, it happened to Rumble. I mean, I know he hasn't fought in a while. I don't know how much he was making when he was fighting for titles because he did fight for a couple, right? So he was doing okay, but it's so bad that he had to steal someone's credit card to buy airline tickets. That's not great. Something happened there. He blew through something. So that's a bummer. Actually makes me a little worried about Kevin Holland because he talks about how he just likes blowing through his money with cars. I'm like, well, I hope you're fighting, man.
And we are experiencing.
We also may have been joking. What?
D-Rest brought it up. We may be a little slow on the YouTube feed. I really need to get a fucking laptop because this is starting to get out of hand. But I mean, for right now, for the people watching, we appreciate you. And hopefully we sound more drunk than we usually do when we're on YouTube anyway. So we appreciate you. Like and subscribe. We got a bump recently too, which is nice.
That won't happen if fucking shit doesn't work, Ray.
I am fully aware of that. Trust me. But yeah, man, I don't know what's gonna happen with Rumble on this, but hopefully everything goes in his favor when it comes to he's kind of found. If he's found to be guilty, then hopefully he does his time and gets out.
Say if it goes in his favor, if he's not guilty, sure. But if he is, then yeah, he has to, all that. But hey, you know what? Bellator let War Machine like beat a dude up and then fight again, and then he almost killed his girlfriend, and whatever. So Bellator let you do whatever the fuck you want. Apparently, of course, I don't think Coker was in charge of it then. I don't think it was his call, but I'm just saying they had a history of letting felons out and letting them fight right away. They had cameras at the jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it a glitch or no? I'm confused. Is it a glitch or is it the beer? Ray, talk about something. I'm gonna check this out.
All right. But it's man. When that news story came across about 4 hours ago, if you're joining us, Anthony Rumble Johnson has been arrested recently for within the last couple hours, actually, with stolen credit cards. Was using them for round trip flights. And that's something. I mean, Florida people love to steal credit cards for some reason. Like
all of them.
I mean, we know a comic who is in trouble for that.
Yeah, but he's not from there. He just lives there now.
I'm aware, but it
been there
seems
very
that
long.
It seems to run rampant in Florida.
Because you heard it twice. All right.
I
that
mean,
means rampant to Ray. Now it happened twice. That means it happens every day. Ray High Class, everybody.
Florida, I would assume more gator wrestling happens than credit card fraud, but you know,
see credit card fraud to buy gators.
That would be actually a good purchase. I would say that's a good way.
Because you don't want to buy them in your name. That'd be terrible. Saw a video of a guy, apparently an undercover cop pulled a gun on somebody's tiger that got out of his house in a residential neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the guy threw his tiger in a van and took off running. He got away so far. They haven't found him. That's fun. That was a fun story.
I didn't know Joe Exotic was out of jail. I didn't know he got that sweet Trump pardon he was looking for. Maybe Biden let him out. Who knows?
This guy didn't have that power mullet, so I don't think it was him. And didn't have any. Because I didn't have any piercings, but I don't know. He may have. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he owns a tiger, so there's a good chance that he's got something, man. But Prince Albert.
Who thinks like, yeah, that's cool. I can get away with having this tiger in this cul-de-sac. Like he said, no one's gonna notice, man. It's cool. And then when it gets out in his yard, kind of like if your cat gets out, but his giant cat, this tiger gets out of his house, and then right away, his neighbor, who's apparently he was an off-duty cop, pulls a gun on him. So there's that. So that's fun. I checked. I don't know. I checked YouTube and it was playing for me. I don't know. I don't know. Sure our shit's probably always hit or miss because we have garbage equipment because we're just
this is true
garbage people, right? That's just what we do. We have garbage shit.
We absolutely do. I want to get your opinion on something that came across the wire earlier. Since you're a big baseball guy, did you see the Oakland A's? News that came across that they're going to be looking to get out of Oakland and relocate somewhere?
They've been talking about that for years. Because they won't buy them a new stadium, and they have a garbage stadium that's been there since like the 70s or something, right?
Yeah,
the Coliseum has been there forever, and it's falling apart, and it has been falling apart for a long time. I mean, look, the Raiders had to leave. You know, because they're kind of the same thing, right? I mean, they're playing in the same place. So the Raiders left. So now the A's are probably going to be looking for places. And the Warriors left too. The Warriors left, but they just went across the river because across the bridge there to San Francisco because there's one basketball team for like both those cities, San Francisco and Oakland. So they just moved to San Francisco. But the other teams, they've been taking off, man. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Now, are they going to look for another city in California? I guess that would probably be their preference. But if not, there's a couple cities in the United States that I know that would like baseball teams. Vegas is one of them.
Yeah.
One of the cities in Tennessee, Nashville or Memphis would be another one. I mean, it would suck because the A's have been there forever, right? But I don't blame them. Hopefully, maybe like a San Jose or somewhere, not, maybe in California. Maybe we'll build him a stadium. I have no idea. But it doesn't surprise me at all because, like I said, that place is falling apart and the Raiders bailed. So why wouldn't the A's bail?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, too. Like when I was watching a thing, John Oliver video with where he was talking about like teams relocating all the time. And like that's part of like the package for some like cities will sell like, oh, bring your football team here. Mm-hmm. And this has also been a thing in Madden for over a decade now, but like he was flabbergasted at the fact that you could relocate your team. And this was before LA got their 2 football teams. But it was kind of funny how incredulous he was over the fact that people will move their sports teams when this shit's been going on for decades now of relocation. I mean, for God's sakes, look at the Houston Oilers, the Cleveland Browns.
Well, the reason he is surprised by it is because he's from England and they don't do that over there like that. Yeah, like the Manchester United doesn't move out of Manchester, right? So
No,
like that's just doesn't happen like that. But also because I mean, I guess when they need new stadiums, they get them or they get fixed, or I don't know, or they just play in them and shut their mouths and just do it. I don't know. But I mean, the Coliseum's getting bad. I mean, it's been bad for a while. I don't know how often it was not bad because you hear shit about that place all the time. But I don't blame them. It sucks. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why the Browns left. But they ended up getting the stadiums where they came back. There's more to that. Our buddy Brian Kenny has a great video about that, about how they did offer Art Modell a deal for a stadium, and then it was a whole thing. Like it wasn't just they said no way, and then he's like, well, I have no choice, which is kind of what it sounds like was going on with the A's and what happened with the Raiders. So I don't know. What are you going to do? I mean, Oakland also wouldn't buy a new arena for the Warriors. So they said, okay, fine, we'll just go over the bridge and they'll build us one in San Francisco. Sorry, Oakland, So that's what happened there. They're all leaving. I mean, they had those 3 teams and 2 of them are gone and one's about to leave again, apparently. And it doesn't surprise me at all.
No. And that's, I mean, American sports, that's part of the game. I am waiting for the day that PNC Park needs to be like decommissioned. That'll probably be in the next like 10 years. And see what the Nuttings do when it comes to like building a stadium, if they even will. Because I mean, you'd have to knock down PNC Park to build a new stadium on the North Shore, which would be fucking expensive, dude. Like,
yeah, that's. I mean, like Boston's the same way. Here, like if they wanted to build a new park, or they talked about building a new Fenway Park, the only place to put it anywhere close to it would just be where it is now. They had to knock it down and build it up all in one off season, which would be difficult.
Extremely.
I think what the Indians have now at Progressive, it opened in '94. I think they just remodeled it a lot. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think that thing's really gonna be the base of it. The bones of it is going to be there for 100 years because it's going to keep remodeling it until they can't remodel anything anymore. I think because I don't think Cleveland's going to get them a new stadium anytime soon. And what's crazy is Atlanta Braves Turner Field opened the same year, I think, as Progressive did, and they have a new one already. So that's not going to happen in Cleveland at all. They remodeled. They're like, hey, we will remodel. That's all we got. But I feel like they're going to have a lot of remodels over the years because that thing's not leaving.
Yeah, Minneapolis just what was it, a couple of years ago built Target Field after having what's it called? It collapsed. The roof collapsed on the place.
The Metrodome.
That's it.
Yeah. And I think Texas, Arlington, the Rangers, the same thing happened with them. Their new park is their last park wasn't around it was around about as long as Progressive has been around now, and they have a new park now. So it's been 25 years, and they're like, new park, we're good. It's been here 25 years. Not going to happen with Progressive. That thing's going to be here 100 for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'll be that. I will be long gone and buried near the guy that Joe Howard talks about in his act that died by getting hit with a baseball.
That guy.
I can't remember what his name is, but I love that joke. If you don't know who Joe Howard is, go check that joke out. It's got to be on YouTube somewhere. Great fucking guy. Speedy recovery. He looks like he's doing well too. But yeah, man, I don't know.
He got crushed by a Vespa. And I feel like if we just say speedy recovery, don't say anything else, people
got hit by a car on his Vespa.
He could be thinking of anything like, what happened to him, man? It could be anything. Is he sick? What's he got? Was he hit by a car in his Vespa? Yes, that's what happened.
Herpaganosyphilades. That's what he definitely has.
That too. He grew an extra head. The other chick that he has a joke about.
Oh, Abby and Brittany. That's one of my favorites as well. I love that joke so much. Oh man, I'm hungover the fuck today, man. Like this is
it's Tuesday.
I know.
You're a monster.
I am. But I went to Make 'Em Laugh Monday last night. That's why we didn't have a Monday show. Did that and then drank way too many PBRs.
I love how every week we talk about being more consistent with the times we do the show, and then every week it becomes worse.
I think it stays the same. I like consistency.
Then we wonder why things aren't like relate again, like wondering why things are happening for us, and that happens. Like, oh, that's probably one of the reasons. Yeah, maybe.
Probably
because we suck at this. Maybe
this is true. But no, yeah, I'm hung over today, like horribly. I took a nap at like 12, and I felt. You ever do that where you like are hung over from the night of drinking, and then like you take a nap thinking it's gonna help, and then you wake up and you're just like, oh, this is not good. Like I am in hellscape right now.
I don't know. I just usually keep sleeping until it goes away. If I can.
You don't have a job, Timothy.
Yeah, did you work today?
I did.
Okay. Hung up. Well, way to go. Way to tell the world here on the podcast that you kill bugs while you're hung over. Actually, I think most people probably assume that they're pest control people are probably hung over half the time. I feel that's what people would assume.
We're all alcoholics and weed smokers. Like that's all like
that and anyone who does anything with like your internet or your television. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody in a trade, I'm immediately thinking you're an alkie.
Maybe.
If you're not in like a good Christian guy, you need to be in an office. Like, you know, the trades are for just complete and utter scum like myself. So it's
okay.
It's true.
There's a Christian plumber somewhere cursing your name.
They know that I'm telling the truth while they're drinking their third beer after work. It's okay.
That's possible.
So
I don't know. Well, at least you're alive, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. More or less.
Oh
man. We're gonna talk about fights. Let's talk about fights.
Yeah, let's talk about fights. And since you didn't watch it, I want to just give my opinions on Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. I watched that right after the UFC fight card on ESPN, which was a great one. We'll talk about that in a hot minute. But I want to, Billy Joe Saunders, by the way, is one of the only guys in boxing right now who could have given Canelo Alvarez a run for his money. Really was doing great, dude. Like
in theory,
was fantastic. Yeah. He was in front. Really wasn't doing anything wrong in the sense of he was keeping Canelo Alvarez down on points. What couple of guys on their scorecards had Billy Joe winning going into, I think it was the 8th round of that fight. And just Canelo caught him with the perfectly timed uppercut right to the eye, fractured his orbital bone. And it was almost a Donald Cowboy versus Tony Ferguson moment, except for Billy didn't like blow his nose or do anything like that. It just, his eye started to swell shut, and you could tell there was some bad swelling on Billy Joe's face. And like I said, he was getting combinations set up perfectly, really fucking with Canelo's head too, which was like odd to watch. It was almost like Floyd Mayweather-ish in a way, where he was just really going for like trying to fuck with Canelo. And it was working for a hot minute. Billy was bullying him for at least half the fight. And though Canelo, man, you said it before. I think you said it at the top of the show. There's not a lot of guys that can beat Canelo Alvarez. That person probably hasn't even been born yet, and Canelo will be out of boxing by the time that guy can be old enough to fight. Like,
What weight class was this fight?
100, and I believe it was 65 pounds, super middleweight.
Okay. That's pretty big. That's too big for like Terrence Howard. Not Terrence Howard, Terrence Crawford. I'd like to see him fight Terrence Howard. It's hot out here for a pimp throwing haymakers. That'd be fun. Anyway, why did he get replaced in the MCU? Anyway,
I was about to say he'll get replaced by Don Cheadle.
Maybe halfway through the fight. What happened? No, let's pretend like it didn't happen. We're just gonna ignore it. Just ignore it.
He's gonna yell, "Boom! You looking for this?" And then the whole world will be fine.
Sure, why not? But yeah, saying Terrence Crawford. He's probably a little too. I figured small form, but yeah, dude, he's a monster. You know how good a guy is when someone as good as Billy Joe Saunders fights a perfect fight and still can't beat him.
Yeah,
it sounds like what happened is what you're saying.
Pretty much. I mean, Billy. There was a few times where I disagreed with the commentators on scorecards. I had Canelo going in, I think, the 4th, and I posted it on our Twitter at Plata. I had Canelo up 3-1 going into the 4th round or the 5th round, and I thought Billy Joe did well in the 1st round. Really, it was a feeling out process, but Billy Joe came out with a lot of combinations early, which did set off Canelo's timing. But like Rogan said it before about like Floyd Mayweather, and Canelo is one of those guys as well. He's learning to download other fighters. Like he's really like learning how to get the schematics of the guy's timing, what he's going to be throwing, reading a guy very well. And Canelo is not only a great power puncher, but he showed on Saturday that he's a great counter puncher as well, and can slip and move and really throw in anything he wants to. And I mean, when he threw that uppercut, it was clean, son.
Which is a lesson he learned from getting beat by Floyd when Floyd beat him. I mean, that's one thing he wasn't great at, but then Floyd does it to him, and then he's like, "Oh, maybe I need to work a little bit more like this." And no one's been able really to touch him other than that draw, right? But that was a stupid draw.
Yes,
with Triple G. Yeah, that's cool, man. We could talk about the stadium. I mean, what do they have? 70,000. It's still 70% capacity, but that place holds about 100,000 almost. So it's like 70,000.
Yeah, it was 73, I think 819 or something of that nature, which is officially the biggest card to ever be held, or boxing match to ever be held in the United States. It broke the indoor attendance record set by Muhammad Ali back in, I think it was the 60s. They had like, or no, it's the, it was like in the 60s, like low 60s, 63,000, I think was the amount of guys, or what am I thinking? I'm losing my mind here, people. But it definitely, it was shocking. I think I texted you.
It's weird to look at it.
What?
What are you doing? You're showing a picture? You were doing something.
No, I was setting up for talking about UFC.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you look at it, and it's just like, oh, okay. From a year of COVID protocols, you look at that and you're like, oh, geez. Right now, I was at a sporting event a couple of weeks ago, and it's not full capacity. So you see that, and you're like, oh, I mean, it's neat, but it makes you nervous at the same time. It made me nervous just looking at it. We'll get back to that eventually here in Ohio, hopefully by the end of the baseball season. But I don't know if it made it harder or easier. I mean, at first I'm like, okay, it's really impressive that they did it, like in the times of, the COVID times. However, people have been jonesing to go to live events so much that when they heard that they were going to let all those people in AT&T Stadium, I think more people than usual are like, yes, we're going to this. Absolutely. Because that's why the UFC has been selling out so quick, because people just want to go to something. Right. So I think that actually helped them more than anything. One of the reasons it broke the attendance record. And I said before that if UFC ever breaks their attendance record, or at least in the US, it would probably have to be at that stadium, because it's the one indoor place in America that holds, I think, like 80 or 90,000 or something like that.
Yeah, because they hold for AT&T Stadium. I honestly think the first stadium card that UFC ever runs should be done at Allegiant when they can have people. I think that would be the best way to do it, just because you're going to get a lot of people to show up for that. I don't ever see the UFC getting in because Allegiant has what, like 60,000, 70,000, something like that.
Is that the one in Houston?
No, Allegiant. That's
Oh, that's
Reliant.
Vegas.
Yeah.
No. It's and I think it's called NRG now. I don't, they change their names all. That's what's so confusing. They change their names all the time. The Death Star in Vegas. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm sure they'll do that eventually. Yeah. Did you see? I saw this today. They're putting in one of the end zones. This is just so Vegas. Like they're putting a nightclub in one of the end zones with VIP bottle service. It's a football game.
And
football game. When you mean and yeah, like what we do in Cleveland. We have a bunch. We put the drunkest people in that same spot, right? And we just let them wear their costumes and then curse out the other players and whatever, and beat up anyone with a away jersey on. Like that's what we do. And then they do fancy nightclub. That's ridiculous. I mean, good for them. They make money off of it. I mean, bottle service at a football game. I mean, look, beers are $15. What's bottle service at a Las Vegas Raiders game going to be insane?
What up, MMA holes? The MMA holes are in the building. Shout out to them. Go to MMAholes.com. Thank you.
The MMA holes. Did you say it wrong again? You say it wrong all the time.
Said the MMA holes because they're in the chat, sir. You show respect.
I'm showing it. I am showing it. Make sure you get it right. That's the point. I'm yelling at you because you often say it wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. And it's yelling at you is 90% of the show.
This is true.
Somebody was late again today.
I was not late. I showed up as we were supposed to go on.
That's your new your new nickname is Sleepy Ray Highclack.
Sleepy Ray Highclack, all nestled in there.
Sleepy Ray Highclack. That's you. But anyway, the Canelo's a monster, and that doesn't surprise anybody. Who else was on the card? Did you watch the undercard?
I did not, because I was watching the main card for UFC. And I need to say this about what I love about boxing more than MMA. The entrances. The entrances in boxing have gone into WWE territory, and I love it. It's like a Bellator or like a Pride FC. It got big like screens in the background. Canelo had a full on I think he was a mariachi like singing superstar, like an actual like mariachi pop band kind of thing, playing before he comes out. And like I think UFC needs to kind of make their own version of that.
They've tried a couple things. I mean, Izzy did that weird thing the one time with the dancing and whatnot. That was cool. One time they had like people performing live. I remember Aaron Lewis played live for somebody.
Oh yeah,
they tried that like once or twice. It didn't really.
Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead, yeah, they had Sinead. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Was she playing Nothing Compares to You? Was that the one? I don't know.
No, she was doing the Foggy Dew.
Okay. Of course she was. Yeah, listen. I wish they had better entrances like that. Listen, if I was a fighter, what I want Shifty from Crazy Town right in front of me, rapping Butterfly as I'm walking down to the cage.
That would be dope
every time. Because who doesn't like Butterfly by Crazy Town, right? And I have like 40 backup dancers. Then I get knocked out in 6 seconds.
Agreed. It's kind of a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. It is a bit of a
bummer. He'd be a grand entrance fan for himself. Like if they brought him out on like a throne with people carrying it, and now the president of the UFC, right? They bring out Big Egghead right on a throne with a bunch of people, playing Everlast or something. Then he would like it then. Not a big entrance. Who cares, man? That's fun. Well, we can't have too much fun. We're not having enough fun, right? These fights, people paying good money to go to these things, man. Right? Or even watching on TV. You can't give them a little showmanship, baby. I mean, listen, it doesn't take anything away from the fights, man. The fights are still good fights, but we just get a little extra show. Can't have a little extra show. So I'm
I
just
was
saying,
about to
Dan, you're
say-
wrong. You're wrong on this one, buddy. And on this one, you're just wrong.
That's why, like, uh, Casey Jones up in this bitch with just keeping the butterfly going.
Yeah.
You're my
Right? Who doesn't
butterfly.
love that song? It's an amazing song. I'm trying to get my brother and his fiance to dance to that to their wedding or their first dance. I told him I'll cover it for him. I'll get some people together. We'll make a nice ballad version of it.
I was about to say the slow jam version.
The slow dance version of Butterfly by Crazy Town.
You're my butterfly, baby.
Kind of like that, but not awful. Ray's not allowed to sing it.
Yeah. I'm a karaoke guy, but I suck.
Man, I miss karaoke. That's what I miss
Me
the most
too.
in the pandemic. That and the movies, because the movie theater by me like just opened up, but everything they're playing I can also watch on streaming, so it's kind of silly right now, but I'll get there eventually. Anyway, grand entrances. You're right. That, and I was also thinking, because of this one size fits all, this or one style fits all with the Venom shorts and the Reebok before that. Just boxing shorts are just fantastic too, man. And the robes, right? Everybody's allowed to have their own style in boxing, man. Still, but because now the UFC decided, hey, we can make money off of this. We can, instead of letting everyone have their own style, we're just gonna, we're gonna sell it out, right? Let somebody else make the style for them, so we get the money, right? We throw them a couple ducats to pretend like we're, pretend like we actually care. Not letting them have the sponsors anymore or anything like that. Yeah, I think the biggest thing as a fan, it's just seeing that it takes the style away. You used to get to see everyone's style a little bit in the shorts and the walkouts and their banners, and they can't do that anymore. Just Reebok and now Venom. And when you see boxing, it really makes you miss it a lot because you see it in boxing with the robes and the walkouts and the shorts, the shoes too. It's a bummer. They don't. The fights are great. We love the fights. The UFC puts on great fights, but I kind of wish they let some of that pageantry. Back in the sport.
That was some of my favorite stuff, dude. Like playing Knockout Kings and EA's Fight Night when those were the boxing games of the day. When like EA or THQ was making the UFC video games. What I loved the most about like the Fight Night games was the level of customization you could do on your fighter was heads and above. Like what even they do on the UFC video games. I mean, they have a lot with the UFC video games.
Were we not talking about fights? How did we get the video games?
I was talking about like I was returning to your point about like fight shorts for boxers and all that kind of stuff.
We're talking about fake fighting in a video game.
Yes,
that's gonna help my point. Okay, keep going.
It will, but I mean the stuff that you could customize on like Fight Night, like the Fight Night games and everything, and then to like see a fighter almost wear like seeing their custom shit in the video game gave it more personality. And I think that's like MMA still has this like hardcore or nobody allowed in. You need to be. This needs to be like fucking. We're fighters. We do this stuff. Yeah, but some fucking people, and I'm looking at you, Habib. You're fucking boring. You need personality, and there's no fucking way that like it's. To me, I think I miss those days when you could have like dethrone on a fucking banner behind the guy.
The thing is, and as much as I love Habib, and I know you hate him, and we're not going to go into that deep, but I would say if they let Habib do whatever he wants, he would just drive his Toyota pickup truck into the octagon or to the side, right, just by himself, and he'd take off his jeans, and his fight shorts would be underneath. He's still be wearing that fancy hat that you love. So I'm going to get you one of those hats.
I'll burn it on the show.
All right, then I'm not going to. But I'll get one for myself to wear just to piss you off. I want to get the Khabib Funko Pop when I wanted to. We get some more subscribers, I'll start buying stuff. But yeah, that one. There's another point about that I was gonna make, but I don't remember now. I need to start writing shit down. I forget shit. I had to yell at you about video games.
Well, I was just saying, I like the
UFC what you're saying.
Or the boxing games more because you could customize like the fight shorts and shit and make like your own frilly like boxing shorts and stuff. I like that shit. It's pro wrestling, and I think honestly
look at we watch the old anyone who hasn't watched the old Pride videos, and I've showed them to people who watch UFC now, and they're like, "Whoa, this is like a huge whole show." I'm like, "I know. Look how cool it was. Look how sweet it was."
Yeah, I feel like MMA has regressed a little bit and hasn't really like boxing. I mean, look at Tyson Fury's
ONE
entrance.
FC does do it a little bit. I mean, they brought back Lenny Hart and stuff, and they do the intros kind of like they did in Pride. That's pretty cool. But it's still not what they used to do. ONE FC has some pretty fun cards. You've been watching those cards?
I have not, because I'm usually like asleep or at open mics when they're going on. Mostly probably asleep because that's Wednesdays.
Yeah, that's a fun promotion. They have some good stuff.
Oh, ONE FC is great. I love ONE FC. I think we should start covering them as well. That would be
I do what I watch. I just kind of forget about it. But dude, I can't wait on this any longer. I have to ask you this right now. What in the Chia Pet was going on with Phil Ha's hair? Like, what was the needle head?
Oh my god!
Like, yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. What was going on, man?
I sent you the text message as it happened. I fucking
did you? I don't even remember you sending me that. I just remember watching it and I'd be like, "What the hell is happening?" Looks like somebody bleached a Chia Pet.
He lost more hair than a feathered down pillow loses during a sorority fucking pillow fight. There was just a LeBron James patch, like straight missing out of his head, off of a headlock. It was a headlock that caused it. And you just see these white puffs. And I'm watching this live. That was the first fight on the card. But I'm watching this live, and all of a sudden I realize, oh shit, there's like a chunk of hair missing from Phil Hawes's head. And you're like, what the fuck is this? What happened?
Did the hair dye kill it?
Pretty much. I think that's what happened.
I don't understand what happened. Like I said, it looks like it looks kind of like if somebody dropped a bag of those like rice cakes, you know, those gross rice cakes. It's like if you drop some of those, you picked it. That's what it looks like. It looks like broken rice cakes, but his whole hair looks like that. What is happening? You know what? One of these days we need to do some sort of challenge between us, and the loser has to Phil Haas their hair.
Yeah, I like my hair though. I like my hair too much.
Yeah, me too. And we got to that makes it competitive though. We have to really. I feel like you're a guy that wouldn't do it. You're one of those guys who just be like, we didn't shake on it or something like that. And
I would bleach my hair until it fell out. As long as it could grow back, I'm okay with it. But like even then, you're running a risk of going bald because I've dated some hairdressers in the past who have like fucked my hair up. My favorite story ever was I was doing a color helping an ex-girlfriend with a color contest. And like in her salon like chain or whatever, and my hair after it was all said and done felt like wood that has been sliced thin. You could just feel it made like a crinkle sound. It was not good. Like my hair was fried for a while. Like it was bad, man.
What did she do to you, man? Did she make you look like a boy band member? Did she Rodman you up? What did she do?
I was a little bit of Dennis Rodman. We decided to go with make my hair look like Hades from what's it called? Hercules.
No idea. What's going on?
Hades?
Oh, the god Hades. Okay.
Yeah. Like
right.
you know from the Disney movie Hercules.
Okay.
Where it was like white and blue and made it look like flames and stuff.
Okay.
She used a lot of bleach, way too much. Like my scalp was burnt. I still feel it to this day every time I think about it. Like my head just fucking burns whenever I see a thing of hydrochlor or I forget what it's called. I'm not even gonna try. But like, yeah, anytime I'm around like chemicals for a hairstylist, I cringe because it's like, no, this hair is mine. This hair feels like just goodness. So yeah, it was bad though, because like dyes can really fuck your hair up big time, and Phil Hawes paid for it by like having his hair turned to cotton candy.
He was trying to do his best Kevin Randleman impression, right? But Kevin Randleman could pull it off, right? Back in the day. Yeah, he did the blonde hair thing, didn't he? And then,
Yeah.
But you know what? Listen, if you're gonna do that to your hair, buddy, I'm gonna have to say it, man. You don't really deserve hair.
No.
You really don't, man. Like you just come on, man. Look, listen. I just let mine go. I let my hair do its own thing. Okay, I don't mess with it too much. I let it do what it wants to do. It's natural. Okay, whatever you're doing, Phil Haas. Listen, I'll say this: great fucking fight.
Yeah.
Although, like the whole time, the only thing I can really pay attention to is these flakes of ramen noodles popping off of his head. Like
it was like popcorn. It was so. I loved it.
But he fought great. He looked probably the best he's ever. He looked fantastic, man. He really had some pop in his hands and beat a really tough dude, a guy with a big reach advantage on him on the Dawkins, and he had a great fight. Good for Haas. Haas was awesome. The next fight in the main card was exactly what I hoped it would be.
Oh my God. Yeah. Gregor Gillespie versus Diego Ferreira.
They rolling, brother. They were rolling.
Dude, like as a guy who loves jujitsu and loves like grappling, this was that like I was on they say edge of your seat a lot when it comes to like fighting. You're like, you'll buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Like this fight, I was on the floor.
That sounds like a like the house promo for anything you watch. It's like that line is used and 95% of whatever Ray watches. And it can be a sitcom and they use that promo.
Monster trucks.
Yeah, that's true. Probably. But yeah, I was hoping this would be a great scramble fest, and it was kind of like the Dariush Ferreira fight. But Gillespie's a fantastic wrestler. This is like the definition of like taking a guy to the deepest part of the ocean and drowning him. That's exactly what happened.
Angela Hill had headshots leave bald spots is what Do It Chronic was saying. Which we'll get to Angela Hill as well because I want to talk about that.
Well, she didn't. Well, the fight didn't happen, right?
Oh yeah, this is true.
Did you forget? You forgot? You were just gonna pretend. Ray was gonna say, "Oh, I just didn't see that fight. I fell asleep."
Yeah, well, I'm hungover, man.
You were gonna try to bullshit your way through a fight. I should have let it happen. You're gonna try to bullshit your way through a fight that didn't happen.
I was gonna go full pro wrestling and book that fight in my head. And then act like no. See, you could have made it a thing where the comments can fucking go.
I know
that fight never happened, you bastard.
I should have let it happen. I should have let it happen. I should have let you give a full fight review of a fight that didn't happen.
That would have been awesome, you bastard. How dare you?
Screwed it up. But anyway, Gillespie, man, he just definitely took Ferreira to the ocean and drowned the dude. He had that great finish in the second round, but I mean, it's kind of surprised because after the first round, you're like, oh man, Gillespie might be out of it. But he gives him, the 60 seconds, takes a couple breaths, then he's right at it again, man. And the guy who was losing it was Diego, man, and he got drowned, man, for sure. And Gillespie finished him with the TKO in the second round. He looks so good, and finally he gets to fight, man, because he hasn't fought since he got knocked out by Kevin Lee in 2019, whenever that was, because he had his Brad Riddle fight got canceled. But dude, he was great. He was everything you hope Gregor Gillespie does. That's what I want to see a Gregor Gillespie fight. That's what I want to see. I want to see him get a guy and smother a dude and beat the hell out of a dude. And that's really what it did against Ferreira. And it was great because he's also fighting a guy who's so good at jiu-jitsu. So it was a scramble after scramble after scramble after scramble. And that's really one of my favorite things to watch in MMA is when there's just two guys that are great on the ground. And it's not a stalemate. It's like, they're really going after it with the scrambles. And this is great. Dude, Gregor's back, and he beat a really, really super tough guy in Ferreira.
I will Duke Chronic brings up he seemed mad. He definitely fought like a man possessed for sure. I mean, you want to talk about and that first round was all Ferreira. To me, honestly, like it was back and forth, but I think Ferreira was like really winning the domination battle more on the ground. Gregor was able to get out and scramble and do all the fun stuff. But again, when there is something about watching any sport where you you see, I've got COVID, everybody. I apologize.
It's not even funny, Ray. That's not even funny.
It's been a year. It's hilarious.
Too soon.
What are they going to take another video down for a CDC violation?
Yes, they've done it before.
I know. But I love watching like team athletics or individual athletics when you can just start to see somebody just wilting. And Diego Ferreira, I don't know why his gas tank decided to give out. I mean, I will say Gregor Gillespie
gave out,
like,
man. Like I said, he just got drowned, man. A guy who could keep a better pace, and that's what happened with Gregor. And listen, he did seem pissed, but
Dim Tanko just decided to comment.
Too soon with the COVID joke, right? Gross Gregor was pissed, dude. He hasn't fought in forever, and every time he's trying to fight, something happens. He's hurt, other people are hurt, COVID happened, right? All these things. He hasn't, and he's coming off his first loss, and it was an embarrassing loss because he got knocked the fuck out. A great knockout by Kevin Lee. So he's trying to get back in there, and the whole time he can't. Just go fishing, Gregor. Just go fishing. We'll call you when we need you. And then other shit happens. So of course he was pissed when he finally got the fight. He wanted to show everybody he still got it, right? Finally gets a chance to get people to forget about, well, never really forget about that kid because it was fantastic. But, just remind people that he's still here and he's still a beast and he did it against a monster. So, of course, he was pissed. And you're right. He looked like a man possessed. And he did. So now he can get that win. He can go fishing now with his winnings or whatever he does.
And I was happy. Like, I know I said this earlier, but like, to see that high level of grappling on a card like this that already was kind of stacked, and really you called it when it came to being really one of the fights of the night, and we'll get to my personal favorite fight of the night towards the end of the show or towards the end of the fight card, because a star is born, and I love it. But dude, yeah, that fight, every single piece of that, and when he pulled hooks, when that motherfucker pulled hooks the way he did and got it nice and flattened out, I literally all I could think. And I love the elbow. The elbow was perfectly placed to the back, to like the side of the head. Really good, accurate striking to kind of make everything call it out. And yeah, man, I like the fact that Gregor Gillespie's back in the UFC and winning again. At least, hopefully, he can keep that momentum up, dude. Because I really want him to like at least fight some top 5 guys.
Oh, he probably will. I mean, he's right there, so we'll see, man.
We shall. I want to talk to you about this fight because
go ahead.
For some reason, Maurice Green is an enigma to me because the dude looks like he could be either a street drummer, a professor, or like
a professor of street drumming. Okay.
Yes, good. Professor of street drumming. His music, his PhD is in music. That's exactly where we're going. But he just got wrestle fucked for that entire fight. Was getting dominated and just throwing heavy shots, and I think that's really what sucked for him.
Yeah, and I didn't think that was going to be Lima's thing. However, I did know that Maurice Green wasn't a great grappler, and he didn't look like he knew what he was doing at all off his back, which is very strange. Do some guys just not train that? Because I feel like you should know at least more than what it looked like he did. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. Maurice Green is kind of tough, dude. He might be on the fence now. A couple losses. He lost an LFA to Jeff Hughes, who's from Cleveland, and then they fight again in the UFC and he won a decision against him, but I think he got that wrong. I thought Jeff Hughes won that fight, but Jeff Hughes got released. I don't know. Green, he did his best, but he didn't look very good. But yeah, he got wrestle fucked by a guy that I think could knock people's heads off, and I thought would knock people's heads off. But it was a good fight, man. Looked good for Lima. He had him with a late shot in the second, but it is what it is, and he got the win. So yeah.
Lima was in control that whole fight. I mean, Maurice Green, I would even say he needs to go back and work on a little bit of striking. He can't be Deontay Wilder in MMA. Like, you just cannot be like throwing bombs like that.
You can't? And is that not what Francis Ngannou does?
Well, Francis finally also has gotten a ground, or at least ground defense. Was stopping Stipe the way he did.
Well, he just the takedown defense, right? And he was super smart and he was patient, and if you hit somebody, but I think that him and Deontay Wilder kind of have are both like the same as far as guys who were just not the greatest complete set of skills wise. They're not the greatest, but they have insane knockout power, which makes them extremely difficult for anyone to beat. Anyway, what were we talking about? Green? Yeah, he didn't look great. He looked crappy, but De Lima looked fantastic. So good for him, man.
Yeah, it was a good fight all around. And let's go, though, to the fight of two Neils. Usually this will happen in a library over a pocket protector when two Neils are fighting. But these two gentlemen were really going hard, and I loved it.
I get it. I get the joke because people named Neil can't be tough, apparently.
No, except for Neil Magny.
Okay, and Jeff Neal.
Well, Neil Magny has the first name Neil.
That's right, he does.
So
it's good. This fight was great. It was close. Magny outpointed him. It's pretty much what I expected it to be. A really good stand-up battle with two guys who are very technical and have a lot of experience. And the two guys coming off main event losses. Neil lost to Chiesa, and Magny lost to Chiesa, and then Jeff Neal lost to Wonderboy. But I didn't pick Neil Magny, but he looked really good. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I didn't think Jeff Neal was going to kill him. But, excuse me, great win for Neil Magny. Now, what's his name? Hazat Chiazu. I can't say his name. Fucking, what's his name? The hair lip. What's his name? That's the only, listen, that's the only thing I can remember him by right now.
I'm reading a comment that's pretty meta. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. This gentleman is Drunk Savage is insinuating that Angela Hill and Neil Magny are the same person because you never see them on the same card, even though they're booked.
Sure. Okay. I mean, there's a height issue there for sure, and a weight issue, but it would make it even more impressive then, wouldn't it? If they're just
science has come a long way, man. Like science has come a hell of a long way. Who knows?
So is this guy trying to say they all look alike? Is that what he's saying?
I would hope not.
That. That's not what we're about on this show on Bro Plata. All right, it's not what we're about.
If you go back on some of those shows, you'll see me being all about it.
Well, Ray's all about it. I have to yell at Ray all the time for being insensitive. Half the show is me yelling at Ray about one thing, and then half of it is about his insensitivity for things, and that's basically the entire show. But what's his name? Hazmat Suit Shemaev is.
They have the same hair, sir.
Sure, except I like when Angela Hill has a bigger fro better than the little one, the little Chia Pet one. I like the big, like Sideshow Bob fro she has sometimes.
No, cool. I'm not racist. I don't know if he's talking about me, but
he probably is.
Oh,
I don't know.
The MMA holes. My new nickname.
I like it. Let's hashtag that. Let's get that going. Let's get that trending. But anyway, Shemaev is trying to get Magny to fight him, but Magny has a great win against Jeff Neal. Now he's trying to get this guy who's had his best win is against Gerald Merchant. I don't know. I mean, listen, they're going to give that guy a fight again. He was going to fight Leon Edwards, a fight I didn't think he quite deserved yet, but they're trying to build this dude up. So I think they're going to give him a fight he probably doesn't quite deserve yet. But the Magny fight kind of makes sense for him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see at least another fight out of Neil Magny. One more, because I know he's sexy as fuck. But
what do you mean one more? One more before what? What are you saying?
I don't know.
You see stuff like that all the time. It makes no sense. Like
I know.
Like I think I want to see a little bit more. I'm like, what? A little bit more? What?
A little bit more hard, man.
You're just making shit up. It's funny because you do. Ray does very often just take like bits and pieces from like other sports shows that he's heard and just kind of throws it in randomly. Like this probably fits here, but I tried my best to call him on it every single time.
But unlike Stephen A. Smith, I can actually throw a punch. So I
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I want to see you throw nut punches like Stephen A. Smith. I want to see that.
He's trying to be Conor McGregor. You see, Conor McGregor is a fighter.
It's going to be an impression episode again because I don't think I can handle it. There's only so many I can handle. You only get one an episode, so you just used it up. You used it up.
Why? I've got also a phone call coming in. Would you like to take that phone call?
Do we have a phone call coming in right now?
I got to turn my camera off though.
All right, you go take a pee. I'll take this phone call if I have to. I don't know why we take phone calls from this guy. I'm getting sick of it. I'm not a fan of this segment of the show. I think it's dumb, and I don't want to keep doing it. But this guy keeps calling in, right? And Ray keeps letting him through. And just coincidentally, Ray has to pee every time this guy calls in. So let's see what he has to say today. I guess I don't know. We'll ask him about whatever he wants to talk about. Really, I don't know. He just kind of goes on his own tangents. There he is. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Tim. Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
And this is why they call us Morning Zoo, everybody. This is it. This is why we get.
I mean,
I try to much as I try to fight it. This is what happens. It's this fucker's fault. All right, now what?
Ray's got to pee. Why are you gonna be all mad? Today is just Alex wanting to talk to Tim. Alex likes Tim.
Alex, what's up? What's going on?
Not much, buddy. How you doing?
No, not bad, man. Not bad. What's going on what's going down in your neck of the woods down in Texas? There's a big fight.
Nothing.
Did you watch the fight? Did you go to the fight?
I did. Except for the fight I watched was two bulls because I believe in America, and America is like two bulls with their horns locked. 9/11.
Elaborate or no? You don't really elaborate, do you?
I don't. I just say the frogs are gay, and it's over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me.
All right, man. Okay, let's talk about. I don't know what else we got going on. We could talk to menthol cigarettes. Okay, so the president, right, or this government, right? What do you think about that? You're trying to get rid of the menthols. What do you think? Are you a menthol fan, Alex?
I smoke menthol, except for I actually smoke the leaves. I'm one of those people. I'm weird. Right. I grab like a mint leaf and I'll roll it in a joint. And it makes it kind of retarded. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Why do you think the government's trying to get rid of menthol cigarettes? You think there's some hidden agenda there?
It is. There's microchips inside of the filters of Marlboro menthol. Everybody knows this.
Really?
Everybody, you can look it up. You can possibly I have it on Infowars.com, but it's menthol cigarettes are used to track every decent American who doesn't smoke them. It's usually people around people that smoke menthol cigarettes, and now they're just tracking us in the filters.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I believe this bit has lost steam.
Has lost steam and never had any, Alex. Do you have anything else to talk about? All right, Alex is gone. Thank goodness. Listen, I don't know why I'm trying to why Ray isn't here. Everybody, I'm trying to look for a new co-host. As I say every episode, trying to find someone maybe who watches the fights, maybe someone who doesn't use stock sports show language all the time.
This is true. I should use a lot more. I'm sorry. I should use a lot more stock.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you know what the stock talking heads sports show would be talking about right now, right? So what does this do to the legacy of Cowboy Cerrone? What does this do to his legacy? That's what people would say, and we'd have an argument about his legacy.
I hate that shit, and
it's so dumb. You don't realize we're just trying to be the complete opposite of whatever the hell that is.
And you're right. Vape people, fuck cigarettes is what CNN or CN. I almost said CNN. That person probably.
Oh man, if CNN tuned into the show, we'd be in trouble. We have a lot of explaining to do. I think
maybe we can give them tips. To be honest with you, I'm looking at you, Don Lemon. But I always, when it comes to I always love what's your favorite part about sports talk radio?
Am I trying to be serious or am I being sarcastic?
You can do either. It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, listen, the stock. Like I was just talking about the stock questions and them yelling at this stuff like it's life or death all the time, and we do that to each other sometimes too. But we're having fun when we do it. But it's just those stock let's just do the top 5 greatest all time. They'll just battle it out, and they do it all the time, right? Or just stuff. I don't know. Stuff like that, say things about legacies, and they're just basically all the really dumb stock questions and stuff they do on the shows all the time. It seems like they're just all repeating themselves. Some of those shows seem like they're all the same show. Really, they all run together.
Yeah,
right. That's why That's why I was a fan of Laboratory Show, because did their own thing, and sometimes they wouldn't even talk about sports. They talk about whatever else. We do that too. But yeah, that's one of the things I hate about it. Also, I talked to you earlier about, I talked earlier. I'm not a huge fan of Collins either, because like I don't know, sometimes they get weird. I'm not against them, but I don't know, they give me anxiety for some reason.
Got a local comic, Mike Polk Jr. has a great YouTube video about like callers to call in sports shows. I
saw that. Yeah,
it's a great video and it's fucking on point. My favorite part, and I do this a lot on the show just to sometimes like be a dick and see what your reaction's gonna be. But it's always like the day after a loss, it's always some kind of problem. Like always.
That's true. Like the world is gonna collapse. Yes.
Yeah.
They'll never win again. They didn't have a bad day. They're just awful now, and everything needs to change. Yes. Always.
Yeah. That's usually the caller
sometimes, because you try to push out everyone who just lost out of the UFC. You do that a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that they just get shoved out for new talent. Dan Hardy has said that.
And then
so Dan Hardy said that in an article recently because he wants out of his UFC contract as well.
Dan
So
Hardy did say that. I think we did kind of talk about that with Nick Diaz coming back, because what kind of would be fun was like Nick Diaz if he fought like a Dan Hardy or somebody. But really what they'll do is they'll probably take someone like maybe Chimaev or somebody younger and just have him knock out Nate Diaz so they can say he knocked out Nate Diaz so he just looks better. Oh, and he knocked out the legendary Nate Diaz, right? Instead of having two older guys in about the same spot as far as the career goes, and actually having a really good, really fun fight. I would love, listen, they were going to do Cowboy and Diego Sanchez, and then we talked about before the whole weird shit with Diego Sanchez, and maybe I hope that guy gets some help. I hope he gets away from that Just Fabia guy. But yeah, they're going to do that, and that was really fun, right? And I hope that's kind of what they do with Cowboy. His next fight, they did say, we haven't talked about this fight yet, but they did say that he was going to get another fight at 55. Clay Guida would be a good fight for him, maybe. That'd be fun.
I think that would be fantastic.
Don't think they fought before. I think that's a good matchup. Whatever they want to do. But yeah, no, Dan Hardy's trying to get out of his contract now, which I hope they let him, because he wants to fight, and he
says he wants to go to Japan.
Okay,
which means he'll fight for Ryzen if anything.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a good place for him.
They have fights all over Asia. But yeah, sure. No, one would set him up to get crushed, probably.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. But Ryzen would probably get him a fight, would make some sense for him. I think CB Dellaway's over there. Ryzen.
That would be a good Ryzen.
Yeah, listen, I was hoping for Dan Hardy to come back and fight somebody. They said I thought Matt Brown would be good. I thought Cerrone would be good at one point. I also Nick Diaz thought would be good, but we'll see. I hope they do release them. If they're gonna fuck around with them, just release them. But sometimes they do that too. They'll just like lead guys on, and maybe we'll give you a fight, maybe you won't, and they'll just make you sit there and wait. I don't know. I mean, he says he's been wanting a fight forever, for a couple years now. He said he wants one more fight, and he's on contract. And I don't know, either give him the fight or let him go. Like, let the guy fight. I don't. You have plenty of fighters, but find somebody. And if you don't want him to fight, then let him go. Easy, I think. I don't know. I know that's just not their thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of see where the UFC wants to go in like a youth movement. There's always that kind of thing, and like where.
Well, that's fine. Then let Dan Hardy go. Let him go.
Well, I was about to say Dan Hardy also had a great commentary career as well, until he got mouthy with the wrong staff member apparently in Fight Island. Which,
I guess I don't know.
To me, is stupid. Like they're in a very high intense setting. If your feelings are gonna get hurt, you can go S a D. Like I don't care who you are. You're working for the UFC. There's gonna be egos. So,
it's just, yeah. Put that up.
Yeah,
I've seen the same thing. He's been saying it forever, right? He's been saying we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. And and they haven't given him anything. Yeah, he's been doing that forever. I want him to come back with the bright red shorts and the bright red like tips in his hair, and then the ankle wraps like he did against Carlos Condit and got knocked the fuck out. He looks sharp though. He looks sharp in all that red, but he got knocked out. I want him to fight one more time, but he is right. He's been saying that forever. Yeah, Dan is great at breaking down fights. I agree, and but it sucks. Like Ray said, he got in a verbal argument with the wrong person or something at Fight Island, and then they got rid of him. So I hope someone else signs him if there's a job opening. I'm sure they will if they, because he's definitely good and he's proved that he's very good at his job when it comes to commentary. Yeah. So, and everybody likes. Listen, Americans like to hire British people with their fantastic accents. Right? It just sounds like whatever they're saying is smarter than whatever we're saying very often. Even though it's not that one, not like a Cockney accent.
That's why that's why when I watch like boxing for like Tyson Fury or any British fighter, I try and see if like there is a way I can watch it on like Sky Box Office or one of those, because I honestly think the guys who do Sky Box Office commentary for boxing, they are way better than any American commentator for boxing today outside of maybe Max Kellerman. I grew up on Kellerman, so like I was always like a big fan of his. But like the British, I forget the one guy's name that works for Box Office, but if you ever want to hear like a chilling open or like talk during an entrance, either you go Tyson Fury versus Vladimir Klitschko, the Jesus entrance, which is one of my favorites, but the commentator there is amazing. And the same guy did his comeback fight and his fight against Deontay Wilder, the first one. And like something about British dudes that like I can listen to them read the fucking phone book and I'm already like, yes, I'm already into whatever you're selling. This is amazing. And like, I don't know, John Anik's a great commentator, but I would, if they brought in like, I'm not saying that the guy they have for the UFC is good, because I don't know, his voice is kind of nasally for me.
John Gooden.
Yeah, John Gooden, great commentator, but it's that like he's got like a nasally voice. Okay. Like, I don't know, it turns me off a little bit when I'm watching. But like, the British boxing commentators are some of the best fucking commentators on the planet, dude. They're so good. So good.
I believe you. So I'm gonna say, but you did bring up Max Kellerman, which made me think of another point about those talking head sports shows. Like, First Take is so annoying to me that it made me cool on Max Kellerman. I love Max Kellerman. I still do. But the thing is, like, he's on that show, and I'm like, maybe this guy's kind of annoying. Like, it's Stephen A. Smith rubbing off on Max Kellerman is making me like him less. And that's what First Take did. So, man, that show makes me want to pull my hair out. That's why I don't watch it.
It's one of the most pro wrestling shows ESPN has. It's basically just it's like, it's promos back and forth. It's like what's the one with Shannon Sharp on Fox Sports?
It's like the same. It's him and Skip Bayless.
It's exactly the same show.
Right. I mean, Skip Bayless was on First Take for a long time. So yeah, it is. It's the same show, essentially. But it's Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, who used to be on First Take. And, hey, this is my cat's tail, everybody.
Ooh, kitty time. We got kitty time. Let me get the banner up before they go away. Kitty time. Kitty time.
Kitty time. I think let's do this now. Let's do Hero of the Week.
Hero of the Week. Oh, shit. And I can do this because it's technically in the thing, and this is a first run of it. But let me get the sounder together. Tim's Hero of the Week.
This is the production value we have going on here. This is why. Tell your friends so we can get people. So hopefully we can get us maybe some sponsor, and then we can hire someone to do this for us. Yes. They can have all the money because we don't have any. But yeah, because we're just awful at this. Anyway, especially the producing, and look, that's what kind of craftsmanship we have in our logos right there. Good job.
Right now, I've got Canva for 30 days, so I'm okay.
Oh, fantastic. It's good. Anyway, man, number one, I got to do honorable mention, man. I got to talk about one of my favorite people, man. He gets a bad rep. I think we'll just start doing maybe I'll get on TikTok and start doing videos defending this guy because no one else will. But he's the best at what he does. You know who I'm talking about, Ray? No? Yes? No?
Quite
he's the best
possibly.
At what he does. A lot of people think he's the worst, but they're just not paying attention. He's the best at what he does. He gets a lot of flack.
He's misunderstood.
He is misunderstood. We're talking about Major League Baseball umpire Angel Hernandez. Angel Hernandez We
He
are
don't give
blessed
a
to be able to
fuck.
see him. I say it all the time. I love Angel Hernandez because number one, statistically, he actually kind of is the worst. Right? He blows more calls than anybody, but he's more sensitive about it than anybody, and that's why I love him. It's hilarious. It's great. The best is he sued Major League Baseball because he said they were discriminating against him because I think he's Cuban. They said that's why they won't give him certain playoff games or make him a crew chief. Although I think he's an acting crew chief now. But he forced MLB's hand, and they basically had to give this statement to the judge that basically says, I'm obviously paraphrasing in crude terms, but like, Judge, he sucks. He sucks, and he freaks out all the time and throws everybody out because they're all sick of him. No one likes him. That's basically what they said. They're like, it has nothing to do with him being Cuban. Now, this is what I think, man. I think they are discriminating against Angel Hernandez, but not because he's Cuban, because he's too handsome. He's a silver fox, and they're just jealous that Angel Hernandez is just better looking than they are. And he really is. Listen, he's the one that realizes those computer strike zones are often wrong. He's always right. They're wrong. He's the one that realized that when they show that he misses a call on the bases, he is the one that exposed that those are deep fakes from MLB that are trying to make him look bad because, again, he's too handsome. He's great. I love him. But last week he was doing Indians Royals series, and he also did something great. He called a guy out on a fly ball to right center that dropped him between two guys. He called him out, even though it dropped him between two guys, and that made the runner from second base go, who was rounding second, come back because his third base coach told him to go back because he saw Angel call him out, and then they tagged him out, and then the Angel had said, "Oh, my bad. The gravity was against me." Right, there's a conspiracy now with the gravity as well, and so anyway, they had to give the guy called him back. Oh, damn it! No, what, Alex?
Tim, I'm going to defend you on Angel, whatever his name is. I can't remember his name.
Hernandez?
Angel Hernandez, I believe.
Yeah.
The Lucha Libre wrestler. Are we talking about Angel Hernandez from back in the day in like 1995?
Ray, it's hard for you to listen. You really come through when you start talking about 1995 wrestling. It's like no, you can't pretend that's not Ray Hyclack when you start talking about obscure wrestling references. All right,
it's not. I'm from Texas. We had the Von Erichs. God damn it, we had the Von Erichs.
No, that's not the Angel Hernandez I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sexy as hell umpire that never gets anything wrong. Gravity is fake as well. He proved that. That's against him.
I mean, this man sounds, I don't watch that much baseball, but he sounds very even-headed.
Mm-hmm.
Really does. Because we all know that those balls are made of aborted fetuses.
Okay.
That's what they make leather now out of for baseballs. Didn't you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was cowhide. It's not cowhide anymore?
No. It's usually 3-month aborted baby fetuses that they put out in the sun. It's almost like Leatherface's house.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think. Yeah, they got to dry them out. I understand what you're saying.
And you're also right on the MLB deep fakes. Rob Manfred is actually the reanimated corpse of, what was the name of that guy that he replaced? I forget his name.
Who? What?
Who was the commissioner of baseball before?
Bud Selig.
Yeah. Bud Selig actually got stem cell injections and turned into Rob Manfred.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, to say like the HGH and stuff makes your teeth wider, right? It gives gaps in your teeth. And Rob Manfred has that big gap. He's getting it fixed now. Now that he's on TV a lot, to make him get it fixed. But you might be right on that one, Alex. I don't know.
All right, I'm out. I'll try
later. We got to stop doing this. Anyway, what I was going to say about Angel Hernandez is he was the next day, he was behind the plate in the Indians Royals game, and there was a ball that may or may not have hit Jose Ramirez, and then there was a balk call, which actually, give him all credit, the balk was 100% right. But because he's Angel Hernandez, everybody thought he was fucking with him, and he screwed everything up, even though when they look at the replay, they'll realize it was an obvious balk. But then the pitching coach comes screaming at him. He throws him out. Then he throws out Mike Matheny, the manager. Then after they get the next out, he throws out the pitcher. So Angel Hernandez threw out 3 Royals, pitching coach, manager, and the starting pitcher in the same inning. And the funny thing is, he didn't really miss a call. And that, that's up. But they just assume he does because he's Angel Hernandez. But he was actually right. You see the balk. The balk was 100% a balk. That's anyone would call that 100% a balk. Anyway, some love to Angel Hernandez. Like I said, he's a very misunderstood man, and he's very good at what he does. I'm gonna start making some tribute videos to Angel Hernandez. I think he deserves it. Yeah,
I was about to say you should be in front of like a bed sheet with eyeliner running down your face, screaming, "Leave Angel alone!" Like I think you should start doing that.
Sure. But that kid? They make fun of him, and they made fun of him all back in the day. But he was right, man. Britney Spears never deserved the hate she got. We were really mean to her, and she never deserved it. I feel bad about that to this day. She at least that guy was defending her, and he should have been the whole time. Anyway, my actual hero of the week, that was honorable mention. Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly is a football coach. He's got a job at Presbyterian University, which is like a FCS school. FCS is good football. That's like used to be Division 1 AA. There's a lot of guys who played in FCS that are in the NFL. There was Trey Lance was just drafted like top 5, and he's from North Dakota State, which is FCS. This guy, Kevin Kelly, finally gets a good job. He goes from high school to Division 1 football, right? College football. But the reason this guy's my hero is because he's been kind of infamous, I guess would be the word, in the country because of the way he coaches. He never punts. He never punts. I know that sounds like it could be worse than it really is. He never, ever punts. And all of his kicks are onside kicks. And people think he's insane, but he wins all the time. And mathematically, it makes what he does makes a lot more sense than what other people are doing, but it's just not how football is played. So he's just like, fuck it. I'm doing it this way. We're not fucking punting. We're going for it all the time. Always. He'll punt like once a year. And all of his kicks are onside kicks. And, Presbyterian hired him knowing he's not going to change, knowing he's going to do this.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it translates to college. But this guy forever, because everyone's been telling him that he's crazy, because he's the only one that does this. The only one that won't punt on 4th and 10 at his own 20. He'll fucking go for it. But I know there's he did a story on Real Sports a couple years ago, and I think there was a state championship game where his team got the ball first, scored a touchdown, onside kick, got it back, scored a touchdown, onside kick, got it back, scored a touchdown. First quarter, before the other team had possession of the ball, they were up 21-0. Like wow. That's just what happens.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and he'll talk about the math, right? And it's funny, you look at it, and mathematically, it actually makes sense, but no one else will do it. So I like that the guy's finally getting a job. I'm going to see if it works at all at college level. I hope it does. I hope it just changes football. We'll stop punting. Punting's boring anyway.
Agreed. I think
anyway,
Kevin Kelly, man, in general. So
he went from high school to Division 1, which that's a big jump, man. And he went to a big jump when most people think he's crazy. Even though he wins, most coaches will tell you that he's insane. But I love it. I love it. Hero of the week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Coach Kelly, because we'll make this an ongoing watch during the football season.
Oh, Ray, do this real quick. Google Presbyterian College and tell me the name of their sports teams. Will you say that for me?
Oh God, Presbyterian College.
Did you find it? How do you say that? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Like my saying there's something I don't get. There's a weird accent or something I'm not saying correctly.
There's a U missing, isn't there?
I don't know.
Be a U missing.
I don't know. Say that how you think you say it.
I have now found my favorite new college team, the Blue Hose, and I'm all done for being Blue Hose all the way.
Right, we need to get some Presbyterian Blue Hose T-shirts now for Coach Kelly and the name.
Blue Hose.
It's HOSE. Is it house? Is it ho? I don't know. Is it a bird? What is a blue hose?
I don't know.
Let's look up.
I'm gonna look that up right now. Blue Hose. That's just coming up. Presbyterian. That's the first thing I see here. Blue hose. Student body adopted the nickname as of the official nickname in the 1950s. Blue hose has survived all these years, taking on even more meanings. That's like somebody had a blue waffle once. I guarantee you, somebody had a blue waffle.
Blue waffle?
Today,
Well, I think a blue hose to me sounds like a sad prostitute.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
she's not getting taken care of by her top daddy.
A melancholy call girl would be a blue hose.
This doesn't even come to mind. Today the name signifies fierce Scottish warriors. Further adding to Hammett's take on the term.
They'll throw a heel at you.
They'll yell freedom and then have a really bad WrestleMania match. It's usually, yeah.
Sure.
So fucking Scotsman. Always gotta look at the Scots and just go, you're crazy.
Anyway, again, congrats to Kevin Kelly, the new head pimp of the Blue Hose. My hero of the week.
Casey Jones, Blue Hose come with blue balls. Yes, they do.
I think so.
And they glow in the dark, depending on how long it's been. At least it has to be a 2-week thing, and then it looks like one of those glow in the dark Nerf footballs. But yeah, man, I don't know. Thank God you brought that to my attention. I would have never have known there was a college with that name anywhere, and the world is better for the fact that it exists.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna need to get me a Presbyterian Blue Hose T-shirt now.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, kitty time. We got the kitty back. She wants more time on the camera because she is a blue hoe.
Maybe.
Blue hoe.
This is Kitty Havoc. Hi, Kitty Havoc. What you doing? You knock my shit over?
Check Kitty Havoc. She does not like Tim Couch.
No?
She does not like that Tim Couch.
She thought the Brown should have picked Achilles Smith.
Oh, man. You want to talk about bad decision making? We talked about Anthony Johnson earlier. That was a bad choice. But they didn't know
the Bengals. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did well for them. It didn't really take him to the Super Bowl.
He was on a terrible team. They were really bad, and they never gave him any help. And that's what happened to Tim Couch too. I think Tim Couch.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Tim Couch.
Oh, Tim Couch. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel worse for Tim Couch than any other quarterback in NFL history, outside of Joe Theismann. I would say Joe Theismann and Tim Couch have had the same career trajectories, except for it was just Tim Couch's leg or career's leg that was broken, not his actual leg.
I think they said if Baker Mayfield starts week 1, he'll be the first Browns quarterback to start 3 seasons in a row ever, which really surprised me because like they had Otto Graham like back in the day. I'm surprised he wasn't, but I guess he maybe he missed a game or something, but I believe that's what I heard, which is nuts. I mean, excited. We're excited for the Brown season here. I know you're not, but I am. But baseball's happening right now.
So I'll watch that. I'll watch the first Steelers game, and then I'll watch the 2 Steelers-Browns games. That's usually the only 3 football games I'll really watch. Opening day is fun because sometimes you get guys who don't really like have high expectations as quarterbacks, or like teams all of a sudden will blow. Like the Miami Dolphins will beat like New England in a blowout. Like that's the kind of shit I like on opening day for.
Sorry, Ray,
football.
I'm not paying attention because I just saw that the Indians are up 3-2 in the top of the 8th now.
Let me look at what the Pirates are doing right now. We're actually winning against Cincinnati. I'm surprised. We're up 4-1.
Yeah. Has Todd Frazier start hitting yet? He hasn't started hitting yet. So
no,
he's batting like $1-0.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our guys are
like Todd Frazier was a signing to like, hey, please come to the ballpark. Come see Todd Frazier. He used to be great. Come see him, everybody. Come on.
You want to see the shell that is Grigory Polanco? Sure.
Yeah, that too. And Todd Frazier. Although I've been a Todd Frazier fan since he was in Little League. Because I remember his Little League teams.
See, this
on River, New Jersey. Hey, dude,
Son of a
I'd
bitch.
say it. I said it once. I'll say it a million times again. I love watching Little League World Series. It makes you. It's all the crap and bullshit out of baseball until the adults ruin it. But just makes you. Baseball's just fun again. It's awesome. That's why I still like doing umpiring Little League games sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
parents are freaking awful, and I'd rather I'll do All-Star games because the kids can play in the All-Star teams. So that's not a big deal. But
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna go back into these fights and talk about Cowboy now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I have some fun stuff to talk about with Alex Morano. Kind of. Some of it I can talk about.
Yeah. Some of it. Yeah. You texted me what you can, and I'm glad that that's just a text message, to be honest with you. We go now to our co-main event of the evening. Donald Cowboy, looking more like McClintock or Rooster Cogburn every day he fights. Taking,
Said ha. I'm laughing. It's me
taking
laughing at your
on.
joke. I know me laughing at your joke is something that would take you back. It's not something that happens a whole lot on this show. So what is that noise? What was that noise that you just made? Are you having another one of your Tourette's episodes? What is happening? No, buddy, I was just giving you props on something. That's all. That happens every once in a while. Like when it's due, you get it, man.
Yeah. And even then, I can't accept it. I'm that good of a comic. I can't accept any kind of good graces, and everything always has to suck. Oh, but yeah, man, I don't know. Alex Morano, you're 6 degrees of separation from him, which is always a good time. Winds up, came out swinging, tried to do what Maurice Green did earlier by just throwing a huge haymaker right off the bat, which was nice to see. It shows aggression. For a guy like Maurice Green, but in a young guy like Alex Morano, I like seeing that kind of stuff, just because.
He's a young guy. You kind of forget, he's had a dozen UFC fights, I think.
Yeah.
He's been around a minute now.
But here's the thing. He came out in that first round, besides that huge haymaker he tried to throw, really looking to end that fight early. And I'm glad that he did. I texted you right after, or no, you texted me right after it was over. And I completely agree with you. It's like,
I take it back. It was just in the moment, but I did say
I think his 155 fight should be the last fight.
Not if he wins. If he wins and he wants to fight again, let him do it. I don't think he will either. I think he wants to go out on a win, and that would be good. And, the thing is, people are going to say this about, like I said, what's his legacy now? Whatever. That's the terrible sports show thing to say. Well, here's the thing. His legacy was cemented a long time ago. It's how often do you think about Joe? How often do you hear people talk about Joe Montana's years with the Kansas City Chiefs? Or I don't know, this is one example I can think of, right? Or when Johnny Unitas played for I don't know, somebody else. I forget who it was. Anyway, my point is, down the line in the future, people are going to think about all the great fights Donald Cerrone has, not the fact that he kind of lost it when he got older, because that happens to everybody. And he lost some really tough dudes. And Alex Morano fought his best fight he ever fought. So, he's Cowboy's Cowboy. Even if he goes out, if he gets knocked out in his next fight, it doesn't take away from all the great things he's done and all the great fights he's had. And Alex Morano said it, and I didn't really think of it before, but he may be right. He may be the most recognizable figure in UFC other than Conor McGregor. I'm like, you're right, he may be. I didn't really think about that before. And he's never been a champion. He's never fought for a title. And it's not like he talks a lot of shit. He just fights really hard. He's just a fun dude who fights really hard. That's just been his thing. He doesn't talk a bunch of shit like the Paul brothers or anything like that. Doesn't do any weird antics. Not really. He's just himself. He's just himself, and he fights really hard and has great fights. And just because of that, and he just they call him Cowboy, and he just is a cowboy, right? So he's just Cowboy. He's been one of the most popular fighters in the UFC for a long time, and one of the most recognizable because of that. And they'll never take that away from him. That said, Alex Morano had a great fight.
Yeah. I was very impressed by how Alex just went in, man. it was cool to see him really like try. Because who was his loss to?
Pettis.
His last Pettis.
And then he won a couple, and then he got knocked out by Chaos Williams, which there's no shame in that. Chaos Williams is nasty.
Chaos Williams is a beast. We covered Chaos Williams during the pandemic. If you want to go watch those episodes are up, I believe, on our Facebook. When we started streaming Chaos
Where's
Williams.
that Pat Miletich interview, Ray?
It's somewhere. It's somewhere. Somewhere. I need to look. Yeah. Tim is mad with me.
You know, the great MMA holes who were hanging out with us before, thank you again for everything you guys done for us. It's a lot. It means a lot. Their whole thing is wonderful, wonderful. There they are right now. Dan Marino. Sure. Yeah. He's never won a championship. Fantastic. Awesome. One of the best. Everyone's going to love him, but never fought for championship. Yeah, Dan Marino for one. But anyway, I was MMA host. I was talking about you because you guys, wonderful, wonderful is your thing. But I think for us for this show, I think God fucking awful would kind of be our thing. You know, our speed. So GFA can be our new thing, right?
GFA,
good GFA down there. I know it's like Grand Theft Auto. No, that would be T. So GFA,
GTA.
Yeah, that'd be GFA. So GFA. How you doing today? God fucking awful. It's bro Plata. That's why we do things. I think that's good.
That's actually
that fits us. That fits us perfectly.
It does. I'm God fucking awful too, buddy. It's
right. Listen, love you guys. I wish we could be WW, but you know, and WW to you all. But we're just not. We're GFA. We're just GFA. That's just how we wake up in the morning.
I love it. Just
Charles Barkley, that's another one, right? We can go like this forever. Charles Barkley never won a championship, right? Just like Cowboy, but he was amazing, and everybody knows how good he was. John Stockton, another one. Karl Malone, same guys, pretty much same team.
Yeah,
they made each other better.
And I'm not saying that this is more. I'm looking at like Cerrone's decline. More recent than his. I mean, Dad Cerrone. We all remember Dad Cerrone when he first had his kid, and then had that incident with the scuba diving. He was on a different mental plane at that point. I just think now one more fight would be good for Cowboy, and then cut him or put him in a position in the UFC where like he can help fighters or, you know, like get guys acclimated to being on the main roster and stuff like that. But when it comes to like, I don't want to see Cowboy anymore, especially like, I hate to say this, but McGregor took a piece of him when he like smashed him with his shoulder.
He lost before then too, right? So he's just
not
the Cowboy he used to be,
but he was still competitive.
He's not the Cowboy he used to be. It's fine, because like this, we'll always remember the one when he was in his prime, man. And again, he's still fun to watch fight. And I really hope they find the perfect fight for him at 155 because they already said they're going to let him do it again. And I hope they find, like I said, I think Clay Guida. Although Clay Guida did kind of call out younger guys, he said he wants to fight one of the young guys because he's been fighting the older guys. But Clay Guida, John Cerrone would be really cool.
Yeah, payday in a 5-round fight.
That'd be fun too. But I don't think they'd do that, but it'd be fun. Hey, you know what? They do 5-round co-mains now, so what the hell?
Yeah, I know. Nate Diaz.
Let's make them all 5 rounds, whatever.
I'd be down. Let's try and see if I honestly see UFC. Yeah, this is a good one. Is that Casey Jones said he didn't expose him per se, but like when they fought, there was definitely Donald's been different since then. He's been different since a lot of fights, to be honest with you. And
it's the fight. I realized he wasn't going to be. Well, you never know, but I didn't think he was going to be a champion ever. Was when he fought Nate Diaz because he was on a tear, killing everybody. Then Nate Diaz just picked him apart.
This is a sad but true statement right here.
There's probably, I'm sure there's a couple of those in the UFC. I know Jeff Neal's a waiter still, I think. I don't know. Did he quit yet? Is he still bartending? Probably.
He's gotta make that sweet tip money because apparently 50 grand is not enough. Or whatever they pay, 55 now, something like that.
Jeff Neal, I don't know. He probably got 20, 30 at this point. 30, he's probably getting his at least in the 30s, 40s now. I'm assuming he's had a good bit of fights.
What? I was about to say sorry.
You gonna make it? You gonna make it, brother?
Yeah.
Right.
I took a nap today too. That's what makes me mad. Like I napped in my truck today, and then went and did a beverage distributor right afterwards, and still I'm fucking tired. Like I don't get it.
So you robbed a beverage distributor?
No, because they have cameras everywhere, and I don't want to lose my job. So
yeah, that's probably a good idea. Sure.
But let's talk about this main event because then I want to get to this news story.
Oh, this is what I want to talk about, Morano. I can't say this. My uncle was texting me, and I forgot my cousin was one of the students at Gracie the Woodlands there. He mentioned them a couple times. They actually ran into him last week. They talked to him, and he wants him to come back to jiu-jitsu. I don't know if he will or not. He's already playing 3 sports down in Texas, but I don't know. It was cool. They still remember him. So we're going to try to get him on the show. That's the point. I think because he knows who my family is in my work, I might be able to get on the show. So we're going to try.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome to get Alex on the show. That would be a big coup for us, I think, as a sporting podcast. To have a guy who
probably, man, we haven't had anybody on for a while. And, mainly because, like I said, we shoot too high. We shoot way too high, Ray.
We do.
However, a couple of those worked. Pat Miletich is really good for us. That was cool. Mark Hunt fell through. Lenny Hart stood us up.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I still can't believe that happened to this day. Like, I liked that woman, and she broke my heart. Broke my heart.
I don't blame her. GFA.
You sent me an interesting story before we get into our main event. We talked about it in the last show. My hero, my Lord and Savior, Mr. Alcohol and Cigarettes himself, Keith Peterson, fucked up. Did not see a tap in the Fabricio Verdum debut for PFL. The New Jersey State Athletic Commission, we talked about this on the last episode, that it would be either overturned, rendered a no contest, do it all over again. And it's been overturned. So I read a little bit of the article today while I was in between jobs, and give us the breakdown exactly on what the New Jersey Athletic Commission said about this, because I'm happy at the fact that they overturned this. It was a totally blatant tap by what was the gentleman's name again?
Henan Ferreira.
Henan Ferreira, and Ferreira, I think, because the H is in Brazil. But yeah, totally should have been a man about it and admitted he tapped, but he decided to be a gym bro and be like, "Oh, I'm fucking tapped. That's bullshit." Meh. And then started punching Fabricio Verdum in the face.
Yeah, and again, I don't really blame Keith Peterson too much for this. I mean, this is why you're supposed to have replay and things, because it's only one guy, right? And like we said, Keith Peterson is a good referee. He's just a human being. He just happened to not be on the side of the fight to see the tap. He didn't quite see it. It happens. It's unfortunate, but that's why you have things like commissions that are supposed to fix these things if that happens. Now, I don't think they had the replay rule they have in Vegas and Atlantic City and New Jersey. So they couldn't fix it right then and there, but the commission did their thing. And I guess you can't really just give a guy a win in this situation, but they did make it a no contest. And I'm assuming the PFL is probably going to just run it back. I don't know if they said anything yet. I hope they do. I'm assuming that's what Verdum would want. Maybe not. Maybe he'll just say, "Hey, I already beat this guy. You saw it happen. Do I have to show you? Do I really have to do it again? You saw it happen." I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure he'll take that fight again. But they did the right thing. We said it. I said I really hope they do something, and I would be surprised if they didn't. And they did. They did the right thing. That's what the appeal system is there for, right? And usually it doesn't amount to much, but this is one that it really needed to be done. And I highly doubt it took them very long whoever the committee, I don't know, it was a board. I don't know how it works, but I highly doubt it took them very long to say, hey, we got something that's messed up here and we can fix it. So let's fix it. So good for them. And again, it's okay, Keith Peterson. You're human, man. We forgive you.
Now, nobody should say anything bad about alcohol and cigarettes. He is one of the greatest referees to ever have neck tattoos and should be respected for what he is, which is a very awesome person.
Yeah, again, I'll say it. If there was a battle royale of all the referees that we see in the UFC fighting each other like in a dark alley, I'd pick Keith Peterson.
So I would pick Herb Dean.
I think Keith Peterson's going to fight dirty though, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a knife in his shoe, something like that.
Throwing sand in people's eyes.
Yeah, he's fighting dirty. I mean, he's going to bite. He's going to bite people in the ankles. Yeah, he doesn't play by the rules. He's Keith Peterson. He's no nonsense to fuck around.
I have been working on a Keith Peterson impression too.
Isn't it mostly just your Alex Jones impression? Which you don't have because we actually get Alex Jones calls on this show. Everybody.
I mean, I was about to say, can you not see
smoke and mirrors
tag?
Right.
I am absolutely not Alex Jones.
That is real Plata. Our show's so good. We have such a good show, right? We're a solid. We are underrated podcast by a lot. We're so underrated. It's crazy. We deserve so much more, and we thank the people that have been around and stick around and helped us a lot, like the MMA hosts. And everyone that hangs out with us.
And if you the MMAholes.com, go to them for all of your MMA needs. There's all kinds of streaming tabs for you to look at and enjoy the fighting world, which I love. I love that website. It's so cool. Like the one day I texted you, I was like, they've got UFC Fight Pass, but like streaming on their site. And that was so cool because I don't pay for UFC Fight Pass, so that helps me a lot.
I've gone into a pretty deep hole in the Robin Black page. I didn't know too much about Robin Black, and I started watching his shit. And this guy is fantastic. He's a great
Robin Black's one of the greatest.
He's super knowledgeable, obviously. But I learned a lot listening to that guy. So that's great, and they the MMA holes have him on the page as well, and that's why I found out who he is. And
really, you never watched
him on
Rogan or anything?
No, I didn't see his Rogan episode. I'll watch it now that it happened. I don't know what happened.
This was years ago. He's been on a couple times, but what I love about Robin Black the most is he'll break down street fights and like the techniques, and he'll give like stuff nicknames. They stream UFC things, okay, Casey Jones, I see you there. They don't stream Fight Pass. I get it, but I'm trying. They stream things, okay, and stuff. I'm okay with that, and I love them for it. But if you ever want to go for a quick laugh when you're either drunk or stoned, Robin Black breaking down street fights from YouTube is some of the greatest shit I've ever seen, sir.
Actually, that I think about it, I think I did see one of those. That guy that looked like Jeff Goldblum when he was throwing those like spinning roundhouse kicks at that. That dude. Yeah. That one that was like years of meth and activity behind the hips. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. Yeah, I didn't know that was him.
That's one of my favorite follows. Is anytime he puts out a street fighting video, I'm like, I'm already in. Like, you don't need to post it, or I don't need notifications on. I just know it's gonna show up in my feed, and it's like a Christmas gift early. You're just like, oh yeah, there's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figure with the play set. I'm already in, sir. Like, it's amazing. So good. Didn't have that as a kid.
We're just gonna move on. I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? There used to have like
you. I've heard of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've heard of them. Yes. Okay. Yeah. There's a place. I've had toys too.
But I'm talking about just like how you feel on Christmas Day when you get like a Nerf gun or like a Sega Genesis, or a Nintendo 64. You feel happy. And that's how I feel when Robin Black drops some new shit. Because you're like, yeah, I'm going to play Crash Bandicoot. What up?
All right, Rick.
Uh,
So my buddy just now texted me, asked if I wanted to go see Fish. I've never seen Fish. I'm not, I'm just not not against jam bands, but that would be a whole and it's like a bit it's camping too, and it's a whole thing. I mean, that's just basically just drugs. That's basically drugs. That's
Yeah.
where you go to do drugs.
I
That's fine, but
I was seeing a fish head.
I'm sure it would be very
a
fun.
little while.
I'm sure it would be. I'd have a good time. I believe I would have a good time. But it's kind of expensive. Everything he wants to do, so I probably won't go. But I think I would have a good. I'm sure I would. But it's just
for a little while. I was seeing this chick that was really into fish, like super like dedicated into fish.
Yeah,
she had
always wear flip flops and have hairy feet because that just seems like that would be the kind
No.
of fish I like fish.
I like no. She
And
feet.
Dave Matthews too. One of those.
Probably, but I like Dave Matthews to a point. Like, but like she actually had a scrapbook like this big, like wide and like this deep of all the fish tickets she had.
That's the thing. Like people who go see Fish don't go see Fish once; they go see Fish 800 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then there's live streams that Fish sells, and people get together and then share their like fish streams with other people.
I understand that because they're a jam band. They're one of those bands that they never played the song the same twice. It's kind of like jazz in that way. And I understand that, and that's pretty cool. That's neat. Again, it's not my favorite kind of music, my favorite thing, but I don't know.
Trey
I'm sure I would have fun. I'm sure I'd have fun though. Yeah, I'd probably have fun. I don't know.
I've seen. So, what's a band you've seen more than twice?
Bowling for Soup, I've seen 10 times, and although I haven't seen them, it's been a while since I saw them. Last time I saw them, Jared Redditt wasn't fat yet, so it's been a while.
Who was it? Ray Roberts talked about going to see. I think it was Bowling for Soup in Newfound Glory or something like that, and he left during Bowling for Soup. Like,
well,
he was just like they were out of breath and shit.
Yeah, it's his fault. They're fantastic. I'm sure they are out of breath, but they still are fantastic. Then they're fun. I've never seen a band who does a show that's more fun in that way. Like they make fun of themselves and make jokes and do weird bits and stuff. They're great. They're hilarious. It's a lot of fun. Their shows are so much fun, and I can't wait to go see them again. I want to. What we were thinking about last year, they had a show in Columbus, at the Columbus Zoo, of all places, but it got canceled, obviously. But hopefully they come to Ohio this year or next year when they start touring again. Them and Red, I think I saw maybe 4 times. They're really good. I saw Shinedown a couple times, maybe 3 times.
I've seen Shinedown once. Yeah,
saw them 3 times. However, I went to a festival it was 2012. I went to a festival, and by then it was after Sound of Madness, and they're just not as good as they used to be. So they were the last band. So I just didn't. We didn't stay. We left. I'm like, yeah, I'm not down with Shinedown anymore. So used to be, not too much anymore. I think I saw Seether 3 times too.
Yeah, I've seen them about the same amount of time.
But definitely Bowling for Soup is the band I've seen the most.
My band is Flogging Molly. Like that's always been the band for me. Where like I've seen them in 2 different states, 3 different cities, and they're just so goddamn good. So god. Now I'm sounding like Joe Biden. We gotta be Americans.
Boba Flex, that's another one. I think I saw them like 4 times.
Oh, Boba Flex is dope.
I
want to see Volbeat before they break up.
Yeah, were they from Denmark or something?
Denmark.
Yeah, they're fun. I like them. They have some cool stuff. Boba Flex is sweet because I know I told you this before, but the first time I saw him was at Rock on the Range, and it was this. They only had 2 stages, and the bands didn't play at the same time, so it was packed. They had thousands of people were watching their set, and they were fantastic. The next time I saw him was at like a bar outside of Houston, Texas, and there was like 20 people there. But they put on the same show. It was amazing, and I saw him at the Carriage House too in Louisville. That's a fun place. I played there back in the day. But anyway, Boba Flex is another one. All right. What were you saying?
Rodriguez? What?
Marina Rodriguez?
let's talk about this fight because Marina Rodriguez put on a nice little show against Michelle Waterson.
Mm-hmm.
The sad part was, and I know I was kind of like, I think honestly, like Morono's win kind of like made me like, as the fight went on, the main event, I got bored with the main event.
Started out a little bit slow.
Yeah.
It did kind of look like they were sparring a little bit there at the beginning.
There was definitely a feeling out process for sure with both of these women because both women, I mean, Michelle Waterson was throwing her trademark kicks. She was really getting everything going. But I mean, Marina Rodriguez being the bigger fighter already, you're going to have an issue. And she did one thing that I think a lot of fighters should do. And I've said this on this podcast, I don't know how many times, really used her length and her size being the bigger fighter to her advantage. I know a lot of times you can't really do that in men's MMA, but women's MMA, a lot of the time, the bigger, like, because sometimes you do get a guy who's like a jujitsu, like just black, like seventh level Jedi, and
you think that makes it impossible to keep someone at bay with your jab?
No, I'm not talking about more when it comes to like getting on the ground.
Have you seen John Jones fight anyone? Have you seen John Jones fight anybody?
I have.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, he's also a lanky ass fighter. He uses his distance perfect.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But Michelle Water, I honestly think though,
I don't think that those fighters can't do it because of whatever reason. I just think they just don't. That's a bummer sometimes.
Yeah, very much so.
But Rodriguez I think she was like a step ahead on the feet the whole fight. Waterson is very, very good. She was fantastic. And, but Rodriguez showed that she was like a step above her and she outclassed her for the most part. That fourth round, Waterson figured out that she might be able to beat her if she smothers her on the ground and took her down. If she would have thought that out, maybe in the third round, maybe she would have a better shot at this fight. Then the fifth round came and the fifth round was great. Fifth round, they're throwing for blood and ended up being a really good fight because of the later part of that fight. It started out a little slow and Rodriguez won the first 3 rounds of that like little patty cake battle. I mean, there's a couple good shots in there, but the fourth round and fifth round were fantastic, and the fifth round was really exciting, and it ended up overall being a really good fight. And Rodriguez showed how tough she is. These are straw weights that fought at flyweight because it was a short notice fight because they kind of just threw him in to be the main event, so they let him fight at flyweight. But I looked today; neither of them moved in the strawweight rankings. There's nowhere for Rodriguez to go right now in the rankings.
No.
It's kind of weird because I think she was 6. And ahead of her is Mackenzie Dern, and she's had a great win. So you can't really put her. They could put her ahead of Dern, but I mean, Dern had.
I think that should be the next fight for Rodriguez. To be honest with you,
well, Joanna has to fight somebody, so I don't see who they're gonna have her fight. But then Rodriguez, maybe. I think it's either gonna be Dern or Rodriguez for Joanna. But let me look at this again. Yeah, Rodriguez. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't put her ahead of Mackenzie Dern because Mackenzie Dern finished number 7, who's Nina Noon. So she, finished her. So you can't do that. And then there's Claudia Gadelia, Carlos Esparza,
have a ranking battle right there.
Zayozan are fighting in 2 weeks. They're fighting on the Garbrandt Fa card. That's going to be an awesome fight. But then it's and then Zhang Wei Li and Rose are probably going to fight again, and after that, you know what? Joanna may fight the winner of. I can see that of Jan Zeo. How do you say your last name? Ziozan and Carlos Esparza. Good one, Ray. But that's going to be a great fight. I'm really excited for that. That's a super awesome fight, actually. And then Dennis Dern 5, Rodriguez 6. Yeah, this is still the most stacked division. Oh, we didn't talk about that quickly. I don't know if they've rescheduled it yet, but the Amanda Hebus Angela Hill fight, Ray did not know this, and man, I still wish. Oh,
yeah, because I would have totally booked that in my head. See, this is when you say you don't get sarcasm.
Who do you think won the fight?
Were
you gonna give someone the win?
I was. Yeah, I was gonna do that. Because it was going to be, I wanted to see if the comment section was actually going to lose their mind and go, it didn't happen, and not acknowledge the comment section.
Well, I if I let you do it, I wouldn't be able to hold it too long. I'd have to go. I wouldn't be able to. I should have waited that long to let you do it though. It was funny though that
strong in this one.
At least I got to call you out on it. At least you at least definitely showed that you were about to do that.
Yeah,
you definitely going to pretend that fight happened. But it said COVID protocols. I don't know exactly what happened, so I'm assuming they're going to try to reschedule this quickly. Maybe they'll throw it on the Garbrandt font card. That'd be good. That card's coming up in 2 weeks. It's going to be a whole thing, especially down here.
Oh yeah, I might come down for that. We go to a bar where like everybody is like one side for Cody.
You'll hear some interesting stuff. Like you'll hear haters too, especially if he loses. You'll hear people say like, "Oh, he's done. I know he wasn't really that good." You hear people turning on him so fast. Because I've heard people around here turn on him. I'm like, why are you turning on him so fast? I felt bad. I'm just like, why?
It's like Mitch Trubisky. We've talked about it before, I believe, on this podcast. How like there's some haters of Mitch Trubisky, which is weird. Like, it's a dude who made good in your hometown. Like, he's on television fighting for like gold and shit, and you still hate him. Like, what did he spit in your lunch in 6th grade? Like, what happened?
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ.
That's weird because it's the opposite here. Because we talked about the Percy Gardner who lives down here, played for the Indians in 2016 as a pitcher. Everyone was pulling for him down here hard. And there's so many people from down here that went to that first game in Cleveland when he played for his first game against Minnesota. A lot of people went up. It's great. He was like, he was a hero. Then he got hurt and ended up not being able to. He retired. But it's not that. It wasn't like that. Like what you say with Trubisky, like people are just jealous of him or envious of him, or what is it? I don't know.
It's just white.
Well, he's a backup quarterback for the Buffalo Bills now. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, he's 2 hours from home. He's going to be used to the weather, I assume. So, and Buffalo's already a good team.
It's already cold, right? And he'll back up Josh Allen. So, dude, backup quarterback. I mean, listen, I know they want to play, but like in hindsight, you're like, man, that's a good gig, backup quarterback in the NFL. You hold a clipboard all the time. You don't have to get hit, right? You don't do a whole lot in practice either. You do stuff on the whiteboard. It's basically
still
like you're a
good
teacher
pussy.
Yeah, sure. You're a teacher that wears pads, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
my favorite backup quarterback was
Charlie Whitehurst.
No, I was going to say it was the backup quarterback for Blue Mountain State. That guy gave no fucks, absolutely none, and didn't want to move up. So he was a slacker like myself, so I could look up to him.
Yeah, I think that too would be good. Because you don't really want to be the scout team guy either, because you'll get smashed. Like, what if you're the scout team quarterback and then you're playing Army or Navy and you have to run the triple option for your practice? That'd be awful. That'd be a terrible week. You're not going to pass any tests that week. Like, that's rough. Oh, shoot. Speaking of sadness in football, I just read this today. A guy who had an NCAA record for a while. Actually, Joe Burrow beat it. He had the most touchdown passes in a single season. Colt Brennan at Hawaii. You remember him? He was a Heisman Trophy finalist. He took Hawaii to, I think, the Sugar Bowl or something with June Jones with the coach. Anyway, that dude was just touchdown pass after touchdown pass, but he died. 37. Yeah, apparently he had running with either drugs or alcohol. I think he died in a rehab facility or something. I didn't really get the whole picture. That's a bummer. But I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if, maybe he had some. You don't know. And maybe he had some issues because every time that happens, you want to think like, would this have happened if he never played football? So I was wondering if they're going to maybe donate his brain, but I did see that he got in a pretty bad car accident. I think he was drunk at the time and he had head trauma from that. So that may have been part of it too. It didn't help the cause, but anyway, yeah. Way to end the show on a happy note, right? I have Colt Brennan dying at 37. It sucks. That's a bummer, man. There's guys in the NFL that are that age. Tom Brady's 58. So,
well, how about we end it on this and we'll talk about this for a little bit because I want to. It's been announced. Eddie Hearn. Well, Eddie Hearn, after the Canelo Alvarez fight, said that they were going to announce big news within the next couple days, and they finally did. They've announced the date and also the location.
Jake Paul versus Michael Bisping.
No.
Okay.
This is bigger. This is Highlander situation. Finally, it's gonna happen. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. It's going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia in August, which will be fun. Let's look at the exact date.
No, one man. If you want to go to that fight, you can't get drunk. That suck.
Well, dude, they do things like where you can't do it in the city, but like they'll build a tent like outside of the city. Because, like, for some reason, the desert is neutral as fuck for them for some reason. I don't know why. But, like, they'll have, like, raves and parties and shit like, away from town because, like, the imams and everybody won't, like, behead them in the streets or stone them for having, basic human fun. That's one reason why I don't like any kind of religion. They take away the fun and everything. And $100,000 for floor seats. You know what? If you have the bank to do that, you should, because it's once in a generation thing where finally we're gonna get a unified heavyweight champion. Oh my God!
$100,000 for floor seats when I can't drink. Like, can I bring a flask in at least? Flask, yeah, handle. I want a whole handle. Take to my seat. If I'm putting $100,000 for floor seats. That's nuts. However, I'm just happy it's happening. It's probably going to be at a weird time though. Here, Eastern time, or
probably
that's going to be a weird time. So, but I'm happy it's happening, and of course, it's happening in Saudi Arabia. I kind of wanted it to happen on a boat. I thought that would be hilarious. But Saudi Arabia is kind of like the next best thing. And it's just going to be a bunch of dudes there, mostly super rich people. So there you go, man. I'm just happy it's happening.
Me too.
It should be fun.
It's going to be fun to finally, for the second time in a long, long time, we're going to get a unified world champion. And even Klitschko wasn't even WBC champion at the time. So we're getting,
because his brother was, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, because they didn't unify the titles because they both had all the belts in between the two of them.
Oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah. That's why.
That was back when I wasn't really paying attention to boxing because Vladimir Klitschko bored the
Klitschko's kind of took the casual boxing fans out of it because they were good, but they were like sleeper fighters then.
But I mean, for this to happen finally, where we're gonna get one world champion, because Tyson Fury obviously is considered the world heavyweight champion. He's got the ring belt, which a lot of times in that sport is like basically
undefeated, never lost.
Never lost. It came back after Tyson was the last guy. Elaborate yourself. Duke Chronic. Elaborate with that thing, and I'll put it up on screen.
Explain your titty, sir.
Explain your titty. Explain your titty, son. Let's do it. Explain. Let me put the thing up. I'm waiting for Duke Chronic to explain his titty. Because it's definitely, he needs to explain it. But for a guy like Tyson Fury to finally be able to have a shot at doing something he's never
that's what you
done.
were saying. You were saying something about Tyson being the last guy. Something. I think you just misspoke.
Oh, okay. Tyson was was technically the last world heavyweight champion he's the guy. Mike Tyson, the last guy to have all the belts. No, believe it or not, the last guy was Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis had all the belts in the 2000s, and then they broke him up after. They broke those up after he kind of went off I forget what the whole thing was, but they broke the belts up again, and they had like respective heavyweight champions, and Vladimir Klitschko unified. I think it was the IBF, the IBF, WBC. WBO WBC was his brother.
I'm just excited for them to unify them so Andy Ruiz can get him. He looked so good in his last fight. He looked fit, dude. He looked good. He looked faster than ever. He looked good. I had a weird dream the other day that you and I met Andy Ruiz. Yeah, for whatever reason you were in my dream. That's weirder than Andy Ruiz being in my dream. But we met Andy Ruiz. I don't remember anything else. But it was one of those like we saw him somewhere in the dream that we didn't expect.
No.
So we were like, "Is that Andy Ruiz or just another big Mexican guy?"
That was not Tyson that threw the belts away. Tyson was stripped because I believe it was the IBF fucked him over after beating Vladimir Klitschko, and he couldn't like do a contract signing for the IBF, and the IBF stripped him of his belt like a day after winning the belts, basically against Vladimir Klitschko, because they, in his words, they didn't expect him to beat Vladimir Klitschko. And to me, Tyson Fury is the greatest boxer of this generation, without a doubt. Eclipsing like for heavyweight, like
heavyweights, absolutely, yeah.
He is. He's probably up there with Ali. He's up there with Lennox Lewis. He's up there with George Foreman. Like, I think honestly, Tyson Fury is a once in a lifetime fighter. Anthony Joshua, really great fighter. But I see this being a 12-round battle with the judge's decision happening overall.
And like we said before, when you talk about someone being the greatest of all time, the only real way to do it is you have to say what did they do against the competition they have at the time? And no one's coming close to Fury. So, I mean, there was that draw. But that
Otto Vance kind of fucked them up a little bit, but he came back in that fight, the Cinco de Mayo fight.
But he won,
he did.
It happens. And I still try to get, I think he'd do the podcast, but I don't know how to get a hold of him. He's not on social media, and the people I know who know him don't have his number. But Nikolai Furta from Akron is the only guy who fought both Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And he lost to them both, but he stunned them both. And they talked about that in the first fight, that Furta, gave them both a run for their money. He didn't beat either of them, but when they were coming up, they had to get through Nikolai. And I met him a few times. He's a good dude, and I think he'd do the podcast, but I got to figure out how to get a hold of him.
Oh man, I think it's time, sir. We close the night doors. We're at 216 in the episode, which means we're in Cleveland.
Cleveland time.
Cleveland time. Woohoo! And this has been a fun episode. We appreciate everybody that watched. Thumbs up and subscribe with notifications on. You can always catch us at themmaholes.com, where our live feed is posted front and center on their website, along with a bunch of other great streaming tabs. But always remember to press on ours when we're live, because we appreciate you guys.
We'll try to figure out very soon and put up the link and put the YouTube thing up as soon as possible for when we have the next show. So we don't quite know yet. Maybe Thursday or Saturday, probably not Friday. So Thursday night or Saturday, like in the afternoon sometime. We'll figure that out, and Ray will put the thing up. Right, Ray?
Yes, I will. Okay. I'll make it actually tomorrow night while I'm out doing. I'm going to be at a show in Lorain, Ohio tomorrow, but I will create. And I think this should be my outline now. that would be better, because you hate the one I say already, but that actually,
you can say whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
But no, we appreciate everybody that came from the MMAholes.com who discovered us. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your significant other that we are god fucking awful, and we will make the world a better place with our MMA and professional fighting know-how and wherewithal. And as we say all the time on this show, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you, and we will see you at the Combate, motherfuckers.
Dude, I smell weed, which is weird. I shouldn't be smelling weed down here. Did someone in my family finally go off the edge?